25th, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now,
Yeah.
Black Ink Radio.
Yo. What up? We on? Yeah, we on. What's up?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
What's up, man? Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday, Motivation Monday.
Happy Motivational
Motivation
Monday.
Meditation.
We are back.
Can
Let's
y'all
talk
hear me?
about it. Yeah, we hear you.
What's going on, Uncle MJ?
What's
Look
up,
at the
Unc?
shades. MJ is on the moon, one way or the other.
Am I on the moon?
Too cool for school, man.
Too cool.
Too cool for school.
Hey, we miss you, Uncle MJ.
Hey, where you at?
I'm out here trying to get the bag. Well, no.
Trying to get the
Yeah,
bag?
trying or you doing it?
No. I'm getting the bag for sure.
You still in production?
I just got off production, so I wasn't able to be live in the studio, but I'm able to be with modern technology. You know, tap into the family. I miss y'all too. Y'all essence, the you know, I miss your body language, everything about you, sister. I love you.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, what's up, sexy?
What's going on, Juicy Lips?
I can't hear you.
I said, what's going on, Unc? How you feeling, baby?
It's all good. It's all good.
That's good.
What's going on, Rich Mo? I can't see you either, but
I'm right here. See the edge of the glasses? What's going on, brother?
Okay,
The edge of the
edge of the
glasses.
What's poppin'? All right.
What's
and,
up?
and the infamous Cool, that's my guy.
My guy. What's up, brother? Wagwan.
I want everybody to know Cool to be DJing at Club Randy Rue tomorrow.
What?
The hours tomorrow.
Oh man, what was that, like 9? I usually start by like 9:30.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll
Good times.
Good times, man. Let the good times roll. Yeah, man, it's a new spot.
I
That
just wanted to give
there.
a shameless plug.
Oh man, I appreciate that. That's love right there. That's love, yeah. Rendezvous, a little hookah joint over in Smyrna. Yeah, off of what's that, Veterans Memorial Highway? Yeah.
Is that veteran?
No, yeah, Veterans Memorial
Veterans Memorial Highway, yep.
in
So,
Naples.
yeah, so Mableton, Smyrna. So yeah, we'll be over there about 9:30, 10 o'clock, man. So pull up. Pull up on me.
Yeah.
But
We got it.
I can't wait to hear the topic of the day.
We're getting into some music
have any
today.
idea what's happening,
I
so
want to see
this
him.
is gonna be dope.
Yeah, we're getting into a few things today.
You put it on him?
Music, the
It's
overall.
just him.
yeah,
But while we stay true
Hey,
to
could y'all,
Yes,
is
on the
it
bottom
possible to get y'all turned up or no? Because I can barely hear y'all.
you can barely hear.
They just got to check. We just got to talk up more.
Can
you
hear
gotta
us
speak
now?
up. That's clear. Can you
What
hear
about
that?
now?
Yeah, I can hear. It's just low, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, I can hear you, but it's just a little low. That's all.
Oh, got you.
But it's cool.
Copy. As they said, that's a copy.
I'm good though.
Is it better? It's getting better?
How about there in IG World? What's up, Queen Toya?
It sounded like some static, whatever that was, but it's all good.
I'm messing that up.
Wow.
But no, it's all. I mean, do your thing. I can hear. You know.
I just realized that.
Okay.
Is anybody else from the family coming on, or it's just me or
Sid.
what?
Who?
He's asking about from the family coming
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Anybody else?
Yeah, I sent the live out, so
well,
I mean, yeah, but they didn't accept it.
Oh no, wait, hold.
There you go. Right. I need to come. Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfecto. Yeah, I sent it out though, but I ain't get no
Nobody else was supposed to be on today.
bugs on. But yeah, we here though, so it's the gang. We out here today. So yeah, how about anybody saw the VMAs yesterday?
I don't watch that.
I didn't see it, but
I didn't even know
I
it was
seen
on.
the.
I didn't either.
I heard the feedback and I did see some postings. I just seen Michael Black's.
Oh, that's where that's from.
That's from the Did you see what they did to Michael Black?
No, what's wrong with it?
Oh, man.
I don't watch. I didn't know that was on. I don't watch that
man.
stuff.
Yeah,
Michael Black's and
Nah.
they did him dirty again.
that's
Well,
crazy.
they always doing him dirty
He
though.
said his haters have officially
Right.
chased him off the internet.
Yo, so they basically swapped my man's face out and put it on Lil Nas X's body.
Oh, I think I did.
So Lil Nas X showed up. I didn't see it, but
dress, right? Or something like
he
that.
showed up in a
No, he
dress
wasn't
and a
in a
suit.
dress.
It was like a half dress, half suit.
Oh, okay,
Was it?
okay.
Yeah, and he was saying he was out here looking like Randy Watson from Coming to America.
Coming to America.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Get your soul.
Remember
Sexy
Sexual
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Oh,
Sexy
oh
chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
Sexual Chocolates. Yeah, so he was looking like that. And,
Children of the future.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it. You watched
Teach
it?
them well and let them
Nah,
lead the way.
I
Okay.
missed him.
Show them all the way.
Yeah.
Just a side of pride.
Of pride, yes.
Yo, he sung that
Hey,
shit.
yo, that's your crazy, good.
Yo,
Oh shit, he like Lil Nas X on that joint.
no, why? He got the pink. Oh man, with the rhinestones.
Michael.
You know Michael Wild
In
with
the
You know
glasses.
he wild with his suits, man.
Yo,
So he embraces,
Out of pocket,
he
man.
embraces Africanness.
Nigga
So-
news.
so I want
Big guy.
to, I want to throw a question around. I want to ask because we got a lot of everybody over here. Y'all, we all music lovers, right?
Yes, sir.
Uncle
Most
MJ.
definitely.
He getting
Yeah,
fly.
what you got?
Oh, I was going to say I'm gonna throw a question around and ask everybody. I said we all music lovers,
Okay.
right? You a music lover?
Say what now?
Are you a music lover?
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna start off with you. Who do you feel is the most iconic artist of this generation?
Iconic artist in my generation.
Of this generation,
This generation.
Of this. Oh,
This
oh,
generation.
Okay.
like new cats.
Uh,
And then you know what? And then it's a two-part question. Everybody's so you say from whatever generation that you're from, and then you say of the current generation. So yeah, who's the current first, and then who was the most iconic of your time?
wow. Wow. And we talk about any genre, right?
Any genre.
Okay. Okay, so that's a good one, man.
Put your
Damn,
thinking
that's
cap
really
on.
good.
Put your thinking cap on.
It's so many. It's a ton of them in my generation. Of course, I'm gonna do people that may have that passed away. Of course, it would be. I have a couple, but of course it's Prince, Michael Jackson for me. You know what I'm saying? That's like huge for me.
Right,
You know what I mean? That's when I came up. They were like the biggest thing next to sliced bread.
True.
And
That white
then
wheat bread.
for here now, for a new generation now,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go by, I'm hearing this boy Kanye is crazy, insane right now. You know what I'm saying? That's all I keep hearing in the streets.
Mhm.
I have not heard his album. I think it's a mixed situation. I think some people like. I haven't heard it personally, but iconically, I think he's doing a lot of different stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it from every aspect of what he's doing, I think that's just my opinion. I think it would be Kanye.
Nice. Okay. So you got MJ, Prince, and Kanye. Nice. Who you got, Rich Mo?
Yeah,
First,
I had to put MJ in there.
first and foremost, my favorite artist of all time is Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So
Salute, my
he,
brother.
he would definitely have to be of my generation.
Right.
It'd be Michael Jackson. I watch people pass out just because the nigga came on stage and he ain't moving muscle.
Right.
He just standing
Just
there
stood
for like
there.
he stood there for like 5 minutes. Nigga. And everybody's just dying and missing the
When I
rest of
think
the
about
they
that
they
nigga
missed
was
the rest of the
arrogant, but I love
concert
it.
because they already passed out. So
Right.
it's over. So I give you him. And of this generation, it's a toss between two people for me because I will say Kanye West only because of what he just did. I fuck with you on that one. But if he didn't do what he just did, I feel like it's more so Drake because Drake is holding it down like how Michael Jackson did. See, Kanye, just like you, I haven't heard none of his music. So obviously he ain't killing them music wise. He's just doing big things. So it depends on what the word iconic means to you. To me, if it's like doing stuff different, I would go with Kanye. But if it's just like you leading the pack and you just, you setting records, I would say Drake.
Drake is 34.
Okay.
And Drake, because Drake put out this last album. Kanye put his album out, and Drake actually put his out with only 3 days left, and he beat Kanye out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right, what you said because his age?
No. I was just thinking, wait, that's this generation or our generation? Like they up there, and they not.
No,
Like,
Drake is definitely the generation.
well,
I don't
but
think Kanye
is not even this
But
generation.
he's relevant in this
Yeah,
generation.
but
still relevant.
He's still relevant,
So I
but
don't
he's
think
not
he's
of the
this
generation. He's
generation.
40.
So you're saying,
he's
so
40.
all right,
He's
so
out of
Yeah,
here.
so that
I was
changes
saying
the
like
question.
so I was
So
saying
you're saying
like
the
currently.
people-
Like currently, he was
Like,
saying.
yeah, so like
but he is currently doing the things that I'm
Right,
saying.
but I
Which
think
is
So I'm
true.
asking, are we
So
talking
he's
about
not X'd out, but
his
he's
age?
not.
Hey, you know how
He's just keeping us alive. That's the way I see. Because
Yeah.
he up there with
I mean,
40 plus. You over there with us.
that
He's
is
just
a very
keeping us alive. But
Yeah, he's 40
it's
plus.
not. This not.
That's a
this
very
ain't even his
subjective
generation.
thing.
Yeah, because I'm asking, are you saying because
Yeah.
you could be 70 and be the most
Which is
iconic
true,
person
but-
in this generation?
Which is true, but they just keeping afloat. It's really not this generation.
Exactly.
That's still saying that our generation of music is winning because they.
Yeah, because everybody loved 90s.
'Cause
90s
everybody
always
loves,
winning,
But they not doing 90s music.
Yeah,
Right,
but that's
but
what I'm saying.
I'm just
So
saying,
I would
like,
say
it's
more so
about-
like you just said Drake because he's still in the 30s somewhere.
that's what I was thinking.
But Kanye that's in a different age.
I mean, I was thinking that too.
The reason why I said is because regardless of what age he came in, like for instance, Jay-Z,
still
right?
relevant.
We could say Jay-Z now, but I can't say that
Jay-Z's
because
not relevant.
he hasn't done anything lately.
Recently, yeah.
Kanye has done the most iconic
No,
shit.
I'm not wrong for you
No,
saying Kanye.
that-
I agree
no,
with you.
I'm just saying,
thinking he ain't the
Are
generation.
we saying the artist has to be from this generation?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
that's
That's
what
what
I'm
I
trying
was
to
thinking.
understand.
Well, we gotta answer Chase that, 'cause I think that was a Chase
Because,
question.
like I said, if that's the case, Kanye took his breaks and came back with music, just like Jay took his breaks and just
He
came
came
back.
back.
What he just came out with was powerful when he did the full joint. Now he chilling. He'll
Right,
come
right.
back out again. So that's why I thought it was just
And that's
this
kind of what
generation.
Kanye did. Because Kanye took a break,
Exactly.
came up with
That's
Life of
what I was
Pablo.
thinking.
But then if
Then
that's
took
the
a
case,
break
then
and then came up with
Jay-Z.
Donda, whatever. So
I mean,
Hands
not Jay-Z.
down.
If that's the case, then Drake is not in the running. We'd have to be thinking about Lil Baby and them.
right.
no, but I
don't
still
consider
think Drake.
none of
No,
them.
but Drake is still this generation, though.
I'll be right-
Lil Baby
hold
is
that.
this generation, but so is Drake, though.
Yeah.
And Drake is the one who's holding down the
In his
crown.
30s,
Right.
he's in this generation?
Yeah, it's still a
Yeah,
generation,
I
bro.
mean-
Still a generation.
How?
Think about it. You gotta think about it. How old were you? How old was Mike when you listened to Mike? Just because he's in his 30s don't mean he's not in this generation no more. When you was a young boy, Mike was probably in his
Yeah,
30s.
he
when you
was.
listened
He
to
was
what I'm
up
saying?
there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's still his generation. It's about the when you influence Drake influenced this generation.
Gang, you should find,
So this is his
Google
influence.
something.
This is your generation.
And you know what? Kanye influenced Drake. So it's
Right,
like,
exactly. So that's what the whole.
But another reason why I say that is because they're the two that's battling right now. So he's very kind of relevant.
And they both. He's relevant.
That's why it was a good
Because
one.
Kanye had the biggest, his record his was the biggest. But
Kanye was a good
like I
answer,
just
but,
told him,
you know.
I feel like Drake,
I think Drake has made.
Drake dropped his album halfway through that week and still beat Kanye, that's ridiculous. And you didn't even promote it.
Well, for my,
Yeah,
listen,
I don't even know
I
nothing
mean,
about that. I just think Drake has earned the respect of an
he
artist.
did, but I think, but I
He's
feel,
just-
He got the
They can say
award
what they want,
as the
but
he got the award as
No, he's
Influential
artist of the decade.
no, he's
Yeah, like
definitely
he's-
iconic. Like Drake is
Okay.
like
And he's a jerk, and I love
he's
that. Like,
iconic.
Such,
Like,
Jesus Christ.
listen,
He's
a,
definitely
oh,
iconic.
that
But that's-
explains
but
everything.
that-
He's
listen.
too sexy.
Listen, think about it. You see the name of his damn label, OVO.
Oh man,
That's October's very own. So if you sign to his label, you're signing to a label called October's very own, and that's why it's the owl. Like that's vain.
yeah, he been
Scorpio.
Let's not do that. look at my
Hold on,
logo.
hold on.
My
You
logo
said-
for my record
you
label
said
is
it.
ours. My name is Rich.
Listen,
Right.
listen. I have to be mindful that's in my trait. My daddy, Scorpio. I
my
mean,
father's a Scorpio.
listen.
Hold up, wait a second. I got a question. You said that the OVO is Satan.
No.
No.
You know what?
no. I
You
said
left and came
I
back
said-
with something totally different.
I
You
said it's
stuck on
vain.
production mode.
I said it's vain
No, I'm
because
trying to. I'm
Did
trying
you
to
say it's
understand
Satan?
what was happening.
no, I said it's vain because the name of his record label is
okay.
October's very own, and it's like not everybody on that label was born in October.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I got.
But see, that's
Oh,
dope,
okay,
you know
no.
how? Because all they doing is putting them into his world.
Well, yeah, it's
Right.
his world.
I mean, that's basically what it is, and
Your world,
everybody
baby
on their
girl.
roster.
But
That's what it is.
I think for me, I think for my answer is it's kind of weird because this is my generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess who's the most
Who are
iconic for
you?
this generation? I'm 28.
It is.
So it's my generation.
Yeah.
I grew up on Drake. Like I was the biggest Drake fan when he first started. That's when he was hungry. I don't really like him now. He's too poppy for me. I don't like it.
He's singing too much.
Yeah, I don't like the poppy.
I love the singing.
No, I love the singing too. Back when he
But
was
that's why
hungry
he's
and he was
winning,
still
'cause
starving,
he's
that's when
connected
I
with
liked
everybody.
it. But now he's too
Yeah,
pop world
that
for
nigga
me.
is real.
But for me, my favorite artist of all time is Michael Jackson. Listen,
Me too.
I don't care what nobody
Hands
say.
Hey, come on.
He's the
I
king
think
of.
that's through
He's
all
the
the
king of.
things.
They call him the king of pop. And he's the king of every
He's the king
genre.
of every
He's done
genre.
every genre, and like until I don't care what nobody said. You got some iconic, amazing people. But until you got states putting hospitals on standby because they know you coming, you're not on his level.
That's
like,
true.
Like,
That's
and listen,
facts.
That's what they did.
Usher sitting back. Usher got an
He said,
interview.
I
They asked Usher. Usher said, "I'm an icon, cool, but I'm not Michael Jackson."
Yeah.
Nobody's fighting that
But, look,
excited.
but listen,
Like,
when you call somebody the king of pop, you are calling the king of everything because you know what pop is.
popular
right?
music.
Popular
It's popular music.
everything.
It's everything. It's everything. It's
So
everything.
to say he's the king of pop, said he's the king of everything.
Yeah, MJ hands down.
You feel me?
King of everything.
Yeah.
That
But,
nigga was it, man. Like,
I mean, y'all said the most
Rest in
influential
peace,
for
Mike.
right now for this generation. It is
Mike
Drake.
used to send chills. Listen.
Most definitely.
you.
Yeah. Mike,
and
You
then-
say you went to a
listen.
concert before?
Yeah,
I
went to
did
my
too.
concert
That
before.
was crazy.
Y'all
You
threw
threw the hat over my head.
Listen,
I almost
in
died.
Philly,
That was
did.
a dream of mine.
turned
He
around
died
and
before I got
put
old
the hat
enough.
Listen.
And that's what I'm saying. When you got niggas like straight
Listen,
killers
that
and
smile-
gangsters
listen,
who love Mike,
listen.
bro, it's like you got
Yeah.
niggas from like they told a story. Wesley Snipes told a story when they shot I watched an interview with
The
Wesley Snipes.
Thriller
When
joint.
they,
Or
when they
not,
shot Bad.
Bad.
Michael hired Wesley to be his bodyguard because they shot it in a rough town in New York. Mike was
Right.
scared.
Right.
But Wesley was like, Mike, I'm not from here either. But the thing right there is, he's like, Mike had no reason to care because niggas in the hood, like straight
Oh, you talking
killers,
about Who's bad?
loved
The
him.
video.
Like Mike was
Yeah,
good in
Mike
every
had-
hood. Like
yeah.
no matter what, even the most thuggish niggas is like, yo, come on, you good? What you want? Like you straight.
clout.
Like
You know what?
Everybody
First of all,
loves him, bro.
I try to tell niggas at the end of the day, Michael Jackson. People thought he was soft.
that nigga was
He
not
grabbed,
soft, bro.
he
He was a
grabbed his
Virgo.
dick
Bro.
more than anybody I know
Yo.
in my
That
life.
nigga was not soft, bro.
Every chance he got, he was down there.
That nigga was
Number
not
one.
soft. He
Number
was
two,
not soft, man.
Number two, you know what I heard? And this is a little off topic about Mike, but it's
Right.
kind of crazy, so I fuck with him. I heard he wrote "I'm Bad" for him and Prince.
He did.
And Prince didn't want to do
Prince
it.
want to do it because he said your butt is
Well,
mine.
mine.
Prince
But
said
looked
ain't
at
no
him
man
like,
saying
ain't no
that.
man gonna look
No,
me
but I'm
in the
gonna tell you
eyes.
the most
And
gangster
the video,
story
listen,
I ever
the
heard
video
about.
is hilarious. If you go watch
No,
it
it's very
today,
funny.
I'm like, this was so suspect.
I mean, he was a very flamboyant man. He was
very.
very flamboyant, but so was Prince. But nonetheless, like the most gangster story I ever heard about Michael Jackson, I heard from Eddie Griffin. I love my favorite comedian of all time. I love Eddie Griffin.
Prince said,
He was doing an
I know
interview
you're
because him and Mike was real close. He said Mike was gangster. Mike bought the Beatles while doing a song with the Beatles. Like he asked Paul McCartney, if you was to sell the Beatles, how much you sell them for? He said I was selling for $60 million. You can look it up on YouTube. Your video. Mike said that's a lot of money. The next day, Paul McCartney come and snapping at Mike saying, "You bought the Beatles." He said, "You said you wanted $60 million. I gave you 64." That's a lot of money. Like, that nigga bought them while doing a song with them
Shout out
niggas.
to
Like,
Mike.
like
Yo.
Mike is gangster, bro.
That's gangster.
All right,
dog.
forgive me for Paul McCartney was part of the Beatles.
Yeah.
yeah,
Him and
yeah,
Elton
so
John.
he-
Him,
so-
Elton John, they were the main two, right?
Not Elton John, no.
I thought it was the Beatles.
No, John Lennon.
John Lennon. There we go.
He just
John
said
Lennon.
Elton
I
John.
got confused with John.
Yeah,
John Lennon.
yeah,
Okay,
so
I'm
it's-
sorry.
Listen, what's he
It's
got
John.
John
They
Lennon,
both British. Excuse
Ringo
the hell out of me.
Starr.
So wait, so
They both British and they both
But
John.
Elton John.
George
I got
Harrison
confused
and
with the
Paul
John.
McCartney.
John Lennon. That's what I meant.
so he
Yeah.
bought their catalog while they was
He
still
bought
out.
them,
Yeah, he
bro.
bought them.
He
He
owned
bought. He
half
had
of
half of
They
Sony.
didn't even own their own
Listen, he
catalog.
owned
Yeah,
half
no.
of Sony.
Michael
Every
bought
time
them up.
Jay-Z,
Roll up.
Justin
What up,
Timberlake,
Cali?
Billy Deer, Beyonce dropped the hit. Mike got paid. He
Cali
owned half
Rider.
of Sony, bro. To own half of Sony catalog.
Yeah, that's
Every
crazy.
time your favorite artist dropped a hit, Blueprint, when that shit went platinum, Mike got paid.
Mike got
Yeah.
paid.
When Danger Love went platinum,
Yo,
Mike
can we
got
get
paid.
another bomb for that one?
Like,
Can we
Mike
get
was
another
the
bomb,
man, bro.
Like, that's gangster.
He beat
Yo.
them on the business level.
Shout out to whoever owned the catalog and it's
But
going
see, that's what he
platinum.
was talking about when he was walking
Malcolm
away
Moore
from
from Family
Sony,
Sold the
saying
back
he
to
was
him.
owning only more than 51% of Sony. Like right before he passed, that was a
I
video.
heard that's part of the reason why
That's
he
the
came
cons-
out.
Yeah.
the
Because he was
conspiracy.
he was about to do that.
And they put
Yeah.
out Print, the
Same
Print
thing
was
with-
gonna buy
Not that
his
he was
masters
about
back.
to do it. This was the last
He already
album
owned it.
that he owned them. So he said, I just gave him anything.
That's why it's
I had
called
that
This
short
Is It.
involved.
That's what it's called. That's called This Is It.
And he
Yeah.
pushed it in the face.
That was it. He was done. Like,
This
you
is it.
got it.
And he was like rehearsing. He was real healthy.
Right, he was
did.
doing his thing. He was
Mike was
touring.
a beast.
They got rid of Prince because he wanted his masters. You know,
Yeah.
and plus they said Prince had
Like,
a vault
them
with
two
over
right
a million
there,
songs.
It's
and they
so
wanted
hard
that
to
from
like
Prince. He
go
wouldn't
back
give
and
it to him.
forth because even though like you love them differently, but they like both are just like the same.
But it's
Prince
like
was
Mike
a
is-
beast too.
Mike
Prince
is
did
one
his
A,
whole
Prince is one
first
B.
album. Prince did every instrument. Prince did all that.
But see, the argument
Prince
is
was
like
the
Prince
beast.
and Mike, they're both crazy vocalists. No argument there. It's like Mike's a better entertainer, Prince a better musician.
No,
Because
I
Prince
don't know
played
about that.
every
'Cause Prince
instrument.
was an entertainer
But not
too.
on Mike's
I think
level,
the
but
difference
not on
was
Mike's level,
this was the
though.
difference with I think.
Hold up.
Mike
Hold
got to-
up. Can I interject on something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can I interject? Kev, have you ever been to a Prince concert?
I would have loved to went to both, but they both died
Have you
before I
ever-
could.
Listen.
They both died before I
Yeah.
could.
Man, listen.
To go back.
Okay, hold up. I'm just saying this because I just heard you say that Michael Jackson was a better entertainer than Prince.
Right.
And
That's my
if
opinion.
you never been to, if you never been to a live Prince concert, then you might want to retract that.
Yeah.
I'm just going off the
What
videos I see.
No, Prince was an entertainer.
I seen the video when they both
I've been-
performed, and I
Where,
saw the
James
audience
Brown?
go at the
No,
James
but-
Brown.
yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, but listen, this is what
You
I'm
see that, Joe Rich
But
Brown?
this is
That
what
was
I'm
a big
saying.
When
Phil.
James Brown had it's back when Mike was starting to go on
Hollywood.
solo and Prince was coming up.
But this is what I
James
think
Brown
it
had a
was, though.
concert. He brought them both on.
But
Crowd
that was-
went crazy for Mike.
Yeah.
They booed Prince. Oh, Prince got mad.
Yeah,
Walked
because
off stage.
that was a
No,
bad line
but
for
this
Prince.
is what I
Yeah.
think it is though, because I can't say Prince definitely had his audience.
He did.
definitely
He was
had
a
his
great
crowd.
entertainer.
And
I
he
just
was a
said Mike
great
was better.
entertainer. But what I
Yeah,
but
that's
what
it.
I'm
Prince is
saying
a better
is,
musician. He
what
played
I'm
every
saying is,
instrument. Mike
what
did
I
every
think
instrument.
is the difference though, because vocally, if you had to go at Prince and Michael Jackson as far as artistry, both of them were great entertainers.
Both.
I wouldn't even say best; they both were great entertainers. Prince was definitely a great
Right.
musician
Prince
because
played
he
every
did
instrument.
play every instrument there is.
Everyone.
Michael was just a beast as well.
His body
But
was
I
an
think
instrument.
that Michael excelled was because we grew up with him from a baby and watched him grow. Like Mike was 5, and his
Right.
vocals and his intuitiveness with music, exactly.
But see, I also,
Like, it was like-
don't think it was just that.
because
though.
no, I think it was a lot of that.
I think
'cause
he was more
we
friendly
had-
towards the public.
No,
Prince was always
no,
kind
no.
of standoffish.
No, which
He had
is
a
true,
jerkish
but-
attitude from
but
Jump Street.
No, but
Prince always did, mama.
I don't think it was jerkish. I think it was
Okay,
short
can
man
I
complex.
interject
You
again?
think short man complex?
I think it was
Yeah,
short man
jerkish.
complex because of how he said they treated him. But at the end of the day, I still
just-
feel like we build with Michael from a child.
Well,
as
he had a
well.
head start.
We
He had a
built.
head
Then not
start.
only that, Michael had certain features that was captivating. Michael smiled, you smiled. You didn't even know why you were smiling. Like his gift was just ridiculous.
I ain't even gonna
Mike,
hold you.
listen.
That's the only grown man that can make me smile. I
That
ain't
he
gonna lie.
just started smiling. You like,
I
why?
watch
Hold
him.
up.
He smile. I'm like, why the hell am I smiling so hard?
Hold up, I wanna give Sage a chance to answer something, and then MJ, then you go.
What?
So you were saying about you went to an MJ concert. What was that experience like?
Let me tell you before I even
man.
answer that experience, how on this show, chivalry is dead because they did not let ladies go first. When
I was trying
when
to
they start-
segue.
I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Wow, we failed.
They fell. No,
I'm a
joking.
big Mike fan. I'm
I'm
sorry.
joking. They didn't even get my opinion.
That's my God. I
And
started
this
talking about
I
generation-
was
God.
trying to go ahead.
This generation's ladies go last.
Facts.
That is facts.
It's facts. They independent. They go
We have a
last.
locker room
Yo.
Nah,
conversation.
baby, you want to be
He
independent?
making-
Right,
you
you
go
strong,
last.
right.
So go.
Making me
Exactly.
terrible now.
They feminists. They go last now.
Oh, feminist. I'm not a feminist.
Oh, man.
You're going too far. I'm for women's rights, but I didn't say get rid of all the men.
It's about this generation. We ain't talking about you.
No, they just confused. The experience at the Michael Jackson concert was overwhelming. It was nothing like I have ever seen before. And don't get me wrong, anything that I have seen close to that, I have to be honest, which ties back into, one of my favorite entertainers of today, generation, last generation, whatever, is Beyonce, hands down. And for men, Bruno Mars to me, as far as entertainment go, like I think Kanye and Drake and them has captured the rap scene all day long. But as far as all around entertainment, Bruno Mars for men, Beyonce for women, for entertainment all the way around the board. Because I haven't seen, when I went to Beyonce concert, you damn near would have thought Mike was there. The way they
Fainting?
were fainting, oh my gosh. Passing out, yelling,
We give it to
screaming.
Beyonce.
It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
definitely.
But
Shout out
Michael
to
Jordan
Beyonce.
was, it was crazy.
Wow. Wow.
His concert
It was
crazy.
energy.
It was energy, and it was an
That nigga gave off
amount.
energy.
It was an overwhelming
But you
amount
did that
of
through his
energy that it was
videos.
confusing that you didn't even know
Yeah, what the fuck?
what you was feeling like.
Yeah,
What
where's it
is?
coming from?
Yes,
But
exactly.
you did that through his video. Even people who didn't see Mike live, like through the
And I
video,
just
you
wanted
at
to
home
know-
and you just like
feel
he
that
got
presence.
grown men trying to go.
He do.
And
It
the
wasn't
chick
until
like
older. It wasn't
grown
until-
men
I'm
trying
sure.
to be
Listen,
like him.
I don't care what-
because my oldest brother was a Michael Jackson fan. You say something negative about Michael, he's
Yeah.
fighting you. Listen,
Right.
you're rumbling him, and that's it. He was that petty. But at the end of the day, as a kid being there, I loved Mike, but I still couldn't get the emotion. I was wondering, why are they fainting? That still didn't. I didn't understand that until
I ain't
I
doing
got
that
older.
either.
When I got older,
I ain't doing that
I
either, though.
understood when I was
Yeah.
watching the concert in the bed when he did that concert with his brothers and they came back.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
30th
yeah.
anniversary.
I was in the bed listening. I was crying, and my kids was like, "Mom, you doing too much
Yeah.
right now." I just understood at that
Yeah, I ain't
moment
going
why
that
they
far.
was
I ain't
fainting.
crying or fainting no grown man.
Why they was fainting, but at the concert, I was like, "What? These people are really."
I'm not.
I had the
get it.
glove, the jacket,
Listen.
the microphone.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Uncle MJ.
I don't care how old
What's
you
that?
are.
I said, go ahead, Uncle MJ. What you got to say,
And
bro?
he was
Everybody
infectious.
tried to move.
How was
on.
your experience
He
at a
was
Mike
He was infectious
show?
all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you went to Prince too,
Okay,
right?
so, well, I saw. Yeah, I went with Prince. Yes, I went to both shows. I went to the Jackson 5 show when I was young, when they were young at Valley Forge.
Okay.
Said when they was young.
So
Oh,
that was the first. That was the
You showing
first
your age,
time-
Uncle
that was the
MJ,
first
to the
time
Jackson
I
5?
ever seen-
MJ, I don't mean to cut
it's
you.
all
Kevin
right.
Kevin
yeah.
just threw a Kevin Hart moment over here. When you said you ain't here when you said when they was kids, he said, "Damn, he old." He just did a whole Kevin Hart.
I'm sorry, you caught me off guard. I thought you said Mike. You went to Jackson 5?
I said, damn.
Oh no, I was trying to give you a little background.
Okay.
So when I was young, my mom and them took me to the Jackson 5 when they were young.
They had
were
Jermaine
older,
still?
a little older than me, but they were.
No, I'm
Hey,
messing
what?
with you.
I
Go ahead.
mean-
I'm messing with you. Go ahead, Uncle MJ.
Yeah, so they were. I seen them in Valley Forge, PA. I'll never forget it. It was unbelievable. Like it was for me. As I think I might have been like, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10, maybe 11, but whatever I was, it was super impactful. And then fast forward, so the way I feel about both is Prince concerts are more organic than Mike. Mike concerts were more produced. Like what I mean by that is like it was still an amazing show. Both shows are amazing, but one with Prince, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Right, right. I got you. I believe that. I believe that.
Unless it's like unless you like his concerts was just fucking, excuse my French people in the audience. It was just like wow.
He had to calm
that was
down in the
next
audience.
level. You know what I'm saying? And then with Mike, it was more produced, meaning like you could tell that they rehearsed it from the beginning to the end. It was very polished. It was very polished. With Prince concerts, it wasn't polished. Like they was there and they were going to do what they were going to do. They was off sometimes. They did other music. Yeah, they just rocked out. Like it was really different. So and then whoever was in the audience with Prince, this is what I never saw with Mike. If Prince knew that someone that was famous that was at his concert may have been in the audience, whether it be a musician, whoever, he would drag them up, and then it would be a whole jam session like deal. So that's the difference between the two. But both concerts was amazing to me. Like I was in awe of both concerts. I like she said, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this gonna sound crazy, but entertainment value, the only other person I ever seen in a concert environment to that level was MC Hammer.
Wow,
I believe that. No, I believe that.
Hammer was the entertainer
Yeah,
all the way
I
around the
believe
board.
that. I believe
Hey.
that.
It's
I
Hammer,
believe
go
that.
Hammer, it's
Shout out,
Hammer, yo Hammer.
Yeah, I believe that. I
I don't care what
definitely believe
nobody
that.
say.
Hammer is definitely
He's like
he's
Hammer,
definitely
everybody.
amongst one of the best
Hammer's
entertainers.
show was
I believe that.
Everybody wanted some hammer pants
No,
or
I
the
believe it. No,
Gumby.
I believe
Look at
it.
them. They still wear hammer pants.
Hey,
Hammer
listen.
pants set the mark.
I believe
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah,
Look at I had some on last week. Them white ones hammer pants.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
I
I'm
believe
talking
it.
about like.
Now he
like,
wasn't as big as them, but his show, bro, he had
his run though.
And before him, it was Bobby Brown. Don't leave out Bobby
yeah,
Brown.
Bobby did his thing. MC Hammer was the rap version of Bobby Brown, you could say.
Yeah, they
They
definitely wasn't
had their 3-year stint where they was just like on top of the world.
Dang. So it's nobody
Cause that
currently
Don't Be
y'all
Cruel
like.
album,
Happy said
it
Prince
beat
is an awesome
Michael
concert
Jackson album that
performer.
year.
I'm
Yeah.
agreeing with Happy. Prince is an excellent. Listen, he's an excellent entertainer.
Oh, I believe it.
I heard the beef between Mike and Prince is really the girls, Apollonia,
and
the other girl. What's up,
Vanity.
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 Oh man, it was
They
crazy.
was messing with both.
Too.
Mike got Vanity,
They was
right?
yeah, Prince had both of them. Prince actually got both
Prince
of
had
them.
everybody.
Prince
Comment.
had everybody.
Prince had everybody.
Prince had
Prince had
everybody.
a bed. Prince had a bed on stage, a purple
Yes,
bed.
he did.
Right?
He
I
was
don't wanna
activating
talk
people's
about
crown
what-
chakras.
Oh man.
He's having a whole lot more than
People
the
got
chakras.
pregnant.
I heard you had to wear makeup to bed. You got to wake up with
Listen,
makeup. Like he didn't play that shit. You had to look good at all times with Prince.
Yeah, his youth, Prince was a mess.
He did that whole movie with Apollonia. I heard all
Yeah.
that was
Purple
showing
Rain,
off.
Purple
Like
Rain,
to show
yeah.
if he got the girl.
I
you
remember
know
that
what I'm
movie.
Yeah.
That was
I
crazy.
still never
Yeah.
watched that.
Them niggas was arguing over females, bro.
I believe it.
Vanity
You
was
see
a
him?
bad motherfucker.
I say you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you know Mike was Virgo, so he was real controlling and serious about his artistry.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Nah,
So
I,
he was a perfectionist.
I just wish we could have got a song with them together, man. Just
Yeah.
one song, bro.
I feel like
what? If they did
What's
if
the
they
energy?
did what they do today, did a joint album,
oh man,
like what Kanye and freaking
Dre,
what Jay did with Jungle was
Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne.
Yeah, that'd
If
be
they would have
dope.
did a joint like that back in the day, what?
That would have
Yeah,
been dope.
Man, that's
That's too
joint.
much.
that would have
That's
sold more than Thriller.
That's too much
What?
excellence.
So way more.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
that's
and
the
Thriller
high
still.
energy.
That's too much.
You know what's
energy.
number two?
Sexual energy.
Yeah, that's
these
too much
niggas-
energy.
You know what's number 2 behind Thriller as far as the best album ever? It's Janet Jackson album. The Principal joint she did the
Oh
It's
yeah,
the
wow.
pleasure
that
principle.
album is the second best. So the Jacksons
She killed that
own
joint.
the 2
But
greatest
ain't that-
albums of
didn't
all
he help-
time.
Didn't he help
Ain't
her
that
with
crazy?
that though?
She killed it.
She murdered. I don't know if
No,
he
I
did.
said, didn't he
I
help
don't
her?
know. I don't know that
There
far.
was one joint where he worked with her.
I believe it. That's her brother.
But they did a
But
song together
Oh,
on
the John
it.
Scream?
Todd Screen.
Yeah.
But that was later on. That wasn't
No,
on
no,
that time.
no,
That was later on.
I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about early on.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
As far as the top 10 greatest albums of all time go, both Mike and Janet have 2 albums up there.
Oh,
That's
really?
crazy.
They both have 2 out of the top 10. But the first top 2 is Mike, and then number 2 is Janet. I think number 4 was Janet again. I think number 6 is Mike again with the I think Mike was with the Bad album. I think Mike with the Bad album was number 6.
Oh,
Immortal. Somebody immortal.
And then Bruce,
Ancestors
Whitney
call me.
Houston up there, Bruce Springsteen's up there,
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
like
wow.
Bruce.
Bruce Springsteen's up there.
Who out there? Who is your favorite?
Rock and roll.
Say white artist.
If you
It
would say
don't
rock
matter.
and roll,
I mean,
I'd
yeah.
tell you.
By far, like I said, I feel like the most iconic artist to me was definitely, hands down, Kanye. And like I said, just for many reasons.
You
And
love
I had
Kanye.
asked, but no, it ain't even because I like Kanye. It's just like when you think of that word, it's just like I feel like it was just more than music that he influenced people. And I
agree.
feel like him and Jay-Z were like the most captivating artists. I feel like Jay is definitely because at one point it was like everybody
Jay is
was
in a
on
lane
their
by
grown
himself.
man wearing button-ups
I just think
and
Jay is in a lane by
S-dots and
himself.
you know what I'm saying, always wanted to be
No,
cool.
Kanye up there with him.
Kanye had everybody
Kanye sit
wearing
at the table. He
backpacks
said at the table.
with the Louis Vuitton,
Kanye
with
is sitting at the
the
table with
Jordans
Jay-Z.
and polo shirts.
Kanye can sit
Kanye
at the table
is
with
sitting at the
Jay-Z.
table.
Jay-Z is in the lane by
Yeah.
himself because
If you want to
do
say
it
Jay-Z
as
at the
long
head of the table,
as
that's
Jay-Z
fine.
do it, that's
But
fine.
Kanye is sitting
I'm
at the table
not
with him.
I'm not disregarding
That's all I'm saying.
Kanye's
Okay.
contribution to music. What I'm saying is you have to be in the game as long as Jay-Z been in the game and keep himself fluent and flowing
Yeah.
the way he's been flowing.
Yeah,
and
fluent and
but they're not the
consistent
same
and platinum
age.
albums, two different
Jay-Z
things.
has been killing it
Jay-Z
for
has a huge
forever.
catalog, but
That's
all
what
his
it is.
albums ain't go platinum.
It doesn't matter.
He got like
now.
It doesn't matter.
Right,
you
now
have
over
to get
time.
into quality and
But if he
quantity.
has, like,
Same thing,
12
quality
albums and what,
quantity is
5
two
with
different
platinum?
things, baby.
Yeah, in their time. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you have to think about that. That matters. They platinum
I
over
didn't say
time.
it didn't matter.
Right,
That's
Jay-
just, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It's just like Cisco. Nobody
Jay-Z
outrated the thong song
Jay-
yet.
Nah,
That doesn't.
that thong song
Nobody
crazy.
has actually beat the
thong
thong
song,
song
yeah.
yet.
And
That
what-
joint banned from the
and
radio.
Nothing. It's banned from the
The
radio.
thong
They
song
played
was
that
so
damn
popular,
thong
it's
song.
banned from the radio. You know how big the songs by Cisco was?
That's a
That
jam.
was
Cisco
out
loved
of
that.
Why
that.
is it banned?
Because it was too played
It
too
was
much back in the day.
played too much. It was
Outplayed.
tired. Nobody wanted to hear that no more. It was that was the most song ever
That's a
played
dope song.
in history.
It's a hell of a dope
That
song.
song
Listen,
is
but my
amazing.
point is
That album
that
to this
that's
day is still
relevant.
getting him paid crazy.
Yes, but my
Like,
point is to you is Kanye man did the same
All I'm
quality.
saying
What I'm
is-
saying
all
is the longevity of what
He fell off.
Jay have done doesn't compare.
all I'm saying is
That's
Jay-Z at the head of the table, but Kanye at the table with him. That's all I'm saying.
If that's the case, Cisco's at the table. with
No,
him.
you can't.
Yes,
Because
it
that's
doesn't-
one
it doesn't
versus a
matter.
plethora.
It doesn't matter. The plethora
now
doesn't
it matters.
matter. No, it doesn't.
No.
Because all that Kanye did still can't top what he did because he ain't
It
retired
depends
nothing.
on who you ask.
That's why I'm
That's
saying.
who you ask.
Nah,
I probably would say Jay-Z would be like one of the most influential.
I say he
Yeah.
at the top of the table, but
influential.
Kanye's at the table.
No, he's at the table with you because that's your generation.
No.
At the end of the day, he's
He's
not
gotta
at the table with
understand
me, even though
music. He's at the
I do
table.
understand music, but what you're saying is no different from what I'm saying. The point you made, as in saying he's still at the table, based off of you saying he produced more quality and more hits,
No, I
then
didn't say
Cisco
produce
need
more.
to be
I
at
didn't
that
say
table
produce
too.
more quality, more hits. I said he produced the same amount. He's up there with him. Far as
So is
longevity,
Kanye
far
at the table with Michael Jackson?
hell no.
Okay,
But
then.
neither is Jay-Z.
Okay, okay, then. okay. then.
Yeah.
Prince and
Okay.
Mike got a two-seater.
Yeah,
That's it.
no,
What could-
thank
After
you,
them is
but
Luther,
my point-
Marvin Gaye,
what
Al
could-
Green, and them niggas.
He's
Like,
not,
What
but
could
what he's looking
almost-
at is my point is the longevity of
What
their
could-
career.
What
What
could
I'm-
Jay-Z-
almost get Jay at the table is he brought Mike out, and that was kind of crazy. He
No,
brought
that's
Mike out
crazy.
at Summer Jam.
That's crazy.
no, yeah.
That's big.
Because
That's
he was
crazy.
cool with Mike, yeah.
That's
But you
crazy.
can't just because if
Sorry
that's the
about that.
case,
Production
if that's the
fault.
case, then you can say Neo at the table because he wrote and produced with Mike.
Who?
Neo.
Oh, listen, they
So,
all can get there,
or-
but that's not
yeah.
what I'm saying. Because
So
you're
you can
basing
say
the
that.
quality. What I'm basing is
Michael
that-
Jackson's favorite song of
but
Neo was
listen,
Go On, Girl.
but
He
that's
loved
not
that
what
joint.
I'm talking about. I'm
He's at the
talking
table.
about the fact that they're
Neo's
able
at the
to
table.
stay in the game.
Oh, yeah,
Niggas
songwriters
sleep
for
on Neo.
sure.
They sleep on
Neo
Neo.
That
was
is
the
what I'm trying to
songwriter.
say.
They
One of
sleep
the
on
That
Neo.
means
songwriters
he
greats.
eating right now.
Oh, they sleep on
What
Neo.
song he wrote for Mike?
I'm not sure what song it was, but I know.
Neo's a beast.
He's a beast. They sleep
But
on Neo.
damn, what song that he used?
Oh my God.
But I know,
Neil's
no,
a
I know he did the Irreplaceable joint for Beyonce.
He did Let Me Love
he
You
did
by
a lot.
Mario.
Yeah, he did a
He
bunch
did a
of
bunch
I
jams.
know about that. That was like the first one he
yeah,
ever did.
He did
But I didn't like he used to run around singing it, and I thought that was distasteful.
Oh,
Really?
Neo.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would say, "Oh yeah, I wrote this song." He
Well,
would
yeah, that's
sing
his
it.
song. Why not take credit?
You can't
No,
do
you
that.
can't do that.
Not as a writer. You're not.
That's
gonna
when
do
they're
You
trying
can't
to.
say-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but if you're an
He'll
artist,
never
go-
He'll
he'll perform it?
You gotta wait
No,
for your
in
turn.
his interviews, he'll be like, "Yeah, you know."
To try to get recognition. is what
Yeah,
he's
he was
doing.
trying to get himself up. So
Yeah.
you like you telling people you wrote it, and then you singing
But you
it.
taking away the credit from letting
the
them
nigga
get,
that you-
yeah,
that
they
paid
gotta,
you.
that paid
You got
you.
paid for
They
that.
gotta build that platform
I
first
got you.
before you
Okay,
get
That
on.
kind of took
But that's what we
took
was talking
Mario
about.
down.
Yeah. But that's what I was talking about earlier. Not
that was
everybody
he was big at that point.
understanding their place.
Huh?
I don't know how much they could down because he was big at that point.
He took him down though. I mean, because you ain't want to hear nothing else from him. That was one of the first artists that was exposed like that, really, for not someone else wrote your song.
Okay, I didn't
Like
know that.
Well,
nobody.
yeah, he put out there. He wrote Irreplaceable too.
But with
He was
Beyonce,
there.
at that point, because no, you know,
Yeah.
Mario was new and that was his hit.
Yeah.
And you run around saying you wrote that, that wasn't right.
I mean, hey, it is what it is in the game.
Oh, Neo.
Ain't no loyalty in that
Well, I
game.
think
You already know that.
Neo definitely made his mark though.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did.
most definitely.
He's definitely to me is a good entertainer as well.
Yeah, Neo was
Neo
cool.
have I wasn't a fan. I
Go,
can't lie
go.
when he first came out.
I was always a fan.
Right.
That was
Yeah, he
my
was
guy.
always a fan. I
What?
was not a fan.
Neo
I
was
wasn't.
my
But here's
guy,
the thing:
bruh.
the first song I wasn't. I was so sick of hearing that love song. I
Oh,
can't even lie.
oh, I'm
If
so
they played
sick.
that, listen, that was never my song.
My
Oh,
joint was
man.
Sexy Love. It make the
That-
hairs on the back of my neck
listen.
stand up.
Listen, I couldn't
Damn.
get into it. Just like I couldn't get into
Sexy
what you call when R. Kelly came out with Honey Love. Yo, everybody was going crazy over Honey Love, and I'm like,
I never
oh,
liked
Wait,
Honey
wait. So wait. Are we putting R. Kelly at this table?
Yeah, I'm about to
Oh,
say.
yeah,
R.
the table.
Kelly is a G.
It's-
Why would we
it's-
have
yeah,
him
I'm about
at
to say,
the
we
I
table?
just
gonna
wanna
talk
know.
about
It's
Kelly
about
or
music,
not?
We
not
wasn't talking
perversion.
about him.
He
We
at the
wasn't
table.
talking about
He at the
him.
table.
No, music.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly is at
Nigga
a table.
couldn't read or
Listen,
write.
Let me
No,
explain
R.
to
Kelly's
you.
at the table.
Listen, Mike
This is
and Prince
perversion.
at their own table. The
Yeah.
table next to them
It's R.
is
Kelly.
R. Kelly,
Yeah.
Luther, Marvin Gaye, all
Yeah.
them niggas. They
No,
at the table,
I
bro.
think R. Kelly
R. Kelly, he
definitely-
up there.
yeah,
He
he's
gotta
up
be.
there.
He done too much
He
iconic
wrote,
hard music.
I believe I could fly.
Nigga,
No, he
listen,
did more than that.
he
He
did
wrote a
so
lot.
much, bro.
I'm
He's
just
at
saying
the
that's
table.
that, but he wrote that.
My,
Yo,
my,
my man
favorite is
wrote-
I'm the world's greatest.
That's
My
my
man,
That's my
yo,
favorite.
besides
Mine
that,
too.
that
Give me
man wrote
chills.
20-minute songs in like freaking and 48 version like
Man,
videos
Nick
that
Cannon
like
said
kept
he
you
just sat
engaged.
there and
Like,
watched him
wait,
watch it
and
write
then
a
what
whole
happened?
album like it
What?
was nothing.
Yo, that trapped in the closet though. It's like
That's-
what, bro?
That Trapped in the Closet is by all means one of the greatest things ever,
Yo,
bro.
Yo,
That
like,
Trapped in the Closet got him
to do
in
the
trouble.
voiceover
Yeah, it
for
got him in
every,
trouble for
but
sure.
just the genius of that.
like,
though.
how the
He
hell do you
created a
put that
musical.
together?
That's
Like,
Trapped
He
in the
created the
Closet,
musical
got
and
him
sung
trapped.
over
it
every
got him
character.
trapped. It got him booked.
What the hell is going on? What you mean was going on?
Yo.
Yo.
And you know what's crazy? When I was young, I never knew what the I was looking why I never knew what the package was. When I got I said, dang, hey.
Yeah.
Like, I remember what the package was. What the
Yeah.
package? The pastor was sleeping with the dude. I'm like, yo, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was
genius, bro.
He was
drunk.
telling the truth all
He
the way
was
back
going
then.
all
Right,
the
it was
way in there.
genius.
Then that one joint you put me in, what's it called? I'm Sorry, or the joint that was like 20 minutes on YouTube.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
That's what I was telling Chase. I was like, even after he confessed, I kept saying that he wrote a confession song and he was confessing everything. Or Kelly did, and I was saying, I'm not watching this.
Yo,
20
I
minutes
listened
long.
to that
I don't know how
whole
you can watch
joint.
him like, yo, it ain't keep going. Like for 20 minutes, he murdered the song and you was waiting for more. I don't
Yeah.
want to listen to a song 20 minutes long.
Hell no.
That's when I just realized this man is the best that ever
Like I said,
did.
you can say, if you would say Mike the King of Pop, you can say R. Kelly's the King of R&B, and I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad.
You can
either.
say it.
You can say what?
He's the King of R&B.
R. Kelly.
R.
Yeah, you can say
yeah.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Though you
I
got
totally
Luther,
agree.
Marvin Gaye, all these greats, but far as we're not talking about vocals, we're talking about far as writing, production.
No, listen, it's
you
no
can,
argument.
you can
There's
say
no
it
rebuttal.
like,
I don't think anybody
You can
would
say it.
rebuttal. I don't think anybody would rebuttal anything of that nature because absolutely not.
there's a whole generation. This generation was made of R.
Guys,
Kelly.
can y'all see me?
Oh,
What the hell?
Wait, I
Yeah,
don't know.
how she pop up in there?
Yo. Oh, MJ, I thought that was
hold
you,
on.
dude.
How Lily get up in there, Lily?
Oh,
What's up, Yellow?
the hell?
Hilarious.
Oh, MJ, I thought
Okay,
that was
y'all.
you. I ain't even pay attention to it.
I am under the weather. Hold on, I need to take you off with.
They look like
Bluetooth.
twins.
Hold on.
Yeah, we about to go live. We about to jump off of this, and then we got a guest coming up. So since we talking about all these artists, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and all of these goats.
R. Kelly.
this-
Please don't forget R. Kelly.
Yeah, this guest actually worked with them and produced some iconic records for these people. So we gonna ask him some
Oh,
questions.
yeah, he
and
actually
The sound
did.
is
yeah, so he
the
got
sound
some
is really
joints.
laggy and bad though.
Yeah.
The what?
The sound. Hey, Richmo. The
What
sound
up?
is like really laggy and like when Chase is talking, I hear it is choppy. Like
That's
Oh,
probably
wow.
because you don't have my earphones. That's why.
Yeah,
saying how
'cause
they-
we was
yeah,
straight.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
MJ
you
is
had
frozen.
earphones, so you probably would have to hop out.
Yeah.
let me see if I put y'all back on
Yeah. Hold up.
Bluetooth. With
Yeah,
that.
it's the light skinness.
It's the
He said
yellow.
It's the yellow. He said.
It's the
the
yellow
yellow.
for me.
The yellow for me.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at this.
But yeah, stay tuned again. We got another special guest, Andrea Fanatic Heard. It's coming.
AKA Billy Lennox.
AKA Billy.
What time we get
Billy
on?
Lennox. So
What
he
time
is
we-
coming on at 7.
Oh, in a few minutes.
He's coming on in a few minutes.
So,
So
Lily,
Yeah, I'm not
since you
scared
on
of
there,
this guy.
I don't know how you popped on there, but since you on there, who is your favorite artist or artist that's iconic for you in this generation?
Wait, are y'all talking to me?
yes.
Yeah.
It's so laggy. I'm telling you, dang it, I'm not gonna be able to hear y'all. It seems like
Yeah.
it's so
go
choppy.
ahead.
I
Hop
prefer to
off
say,
and call back.
dang it. Okay.
All right.
Hey, how do I get the people from out of my face?
Out of your face. What?
How do you get off of
Comments and
MySpace?
stuff.
Rub it down with your finger.
Not my space.
Just rub it down with your finger.
Every
Like
time I do,
go to the top of the comments and drag it down with your finger.
Oh, his phone freezing.
I got
Yeah.
a question real quick for y'all. Real quick. I like to do this with people when it comes to artists.
What is it?
One gotta go.
Yep.
Oh,
I did
God.
have like this a lot of times. Whitney, Mariah, or Mary J. One
What?
gotta go.
Whitney, Mariah, or Mary J.
Bye,
For me,
Mary.
to be honest,
Give me
I'm sorry,
another one.
Mariah would
Or
have to
Beyonce.
go.
No.
Mariah was
Mariah.
good for me.
Just
Mariah
three?
gotta go.
Bye,
Me.
Mariah?
Mariah gotta go.
Mariah would
You
have to
think
go.
Mariah?
I love
No.
Mariah.
It's not about who's a better
It's not
singer.
about
It's
who's
about
a
who's
better
affected
singer.
and touched you more.
Nah, Mary can't
Whitney
go
is my
nowhere.
favorite female singer of all time.
Mary is the queen of R&B.
Whitney
that
is
was
my
easy.
favorite of all time.
Mary's not
Other
going
than my
anywhere.
Other than
Mary's at the top
other than my
for me.
baby, I need the
Mary
baker.
is not going
That was easy.
anywhere.
I know we talking about talent.
No, we talking about just far who
All
affected
right,
your favorite
hold on.
person.
Let's ask the live.
Sorry, that was easy.
Hands down, somebody gotta go. Mary, Whitney, or
Mariah.
Mariah Carey.
Who y'all got?
And it's not about
Who y'all
vocal
got?
ability.
And
It's
it's not
about like
about
who
vocal.
affected you, who you listen, who on your playlist more,
gotta
like whatever.
go?
It ain't about who has sex with your favorite rapper.
Right.
Oh my God.
This ain't about records.
It's not because Nick Cannon
Nah,
corny.
This ain't
And
about
I
who can
love,
dance.
Shout out Nick Cannon. I like
Nick
Nick
is
It's
not-
I'm a Nick
about
Cannon
who
fan.
gotta
That's
go.
my dude.
And
I
I
love
do
Nick
love
Cannon. I'm a real fan.
Mariah all day long. She's a beast.
Mariah,
Like,
a beast.
Mariah.
Mary
But for
can't
me,
go
she gotta go.
She gotta go.
Whitney ain't going nowhere.
Mariah didn't really influence me.
And me either.
Like I just like that she was hanging with the niggas.
Wow.
Zuby Mom
Auntie.
said Mary. Mary would have to
Oh,
go.
Auntie, you can't come to
You
the
go,
cookout.
Zuby Mom, with Mary.
See, I don't know
Mary
about
is
y'all,
staying.
But music make me
Mary
move.
is staying.
This joint right here makes me wanna.
You must didn't listen to Mary My Life
Said
album.
Mary
Yeah.
got
You
to
need
go.
to get in tune with your
Mary
life,
gotta
Zuby
go.
That's
Mom.
right.
You gotta get in tune with your life, Zuby Mom.
Yo, she ain't been through nothing.
Okay, so what was the question?
She know
again?
I
So look, so MJ, one gotta go. MJ.
Somebody else said Mary gotta
Look,
go.
Wow.
one gotta go. Mary J. Blige,
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, and Mariah Carey. Who gotta go?
Damn, we got two Marys gone.
Let MJ answer. Who gotta go? It's not
Are we
about.
talking
Who,
about-
it's
are we
not about
talking
who's
about
a better singer or
We're
talent.
not
It's
talking
about
about
who
talent.
you personally, who affects you in your life,
Who
who on your
affected you.
playlist, who you listen to more. Not about who the cutest. None of that.
It's not about talent. It's about who you fucking with.
Okay, Mariah gotta go.
Exactly.
Thank you, MJ.
She gotta go.
Thank you.
She gotta go.
Yo.
And there's no disrespect to Mariah because I love Mariah, but here's my
I
point.
like Mariah too.
There's
vocally.
like Mary is always in my playlist.
You know what's
Like I'm not
You know
waking
what
up
messed
saying,
you
oh, I
up,
want to go
Mariah?
here banging Mariah song, even
I
though
can't
Mariah.
get over that glitter movie.
Oh my God.
They can blame it for glitter.
Yo, I wanna
This ain't
smack
got nothing to
my
do with that.
Yo, I
Nah,
still
being
gotta
funny.
see.
Shout out Mariah Carey.
I still
Go.
gotta see that
Mariah's a
Mudbound
goat.
joint. Didn't Mary win an Oscar for that joint?
What?
Mudbound, the Netflix movie. I think she. Well, if
Is
she
that the
won-
slave joint?
is, it's like
Yeah,
the,
she did a good job
yeah,
on it.
yeah,
You
I
said
think-
Mary?
Mary is just the truth all the way around.
Mary is
And-
all
and
that,
I
man.
feel like she might have not been the best.
Zuby
vocal
Mom
singer.
said Mary
wasn't-
can't do
it
what
wasn't
Whitney
a-
do,
this wasn't
what
about
Mariah do
vocals.
vocally.
Yeah, it ain't
This
about
is about
vocals.
Mary done something better.
Who you
She touched your
listening to?
soul.
Who you listening to mostly, or who you fucking
Who
with?
touched
Like,
the
who
core?
affected you?
And vocals
Mariah
is such
didn't affect me like
it's
that.
such a vocals
Mariah
is such
didn't
a
inspire
iffy
me
thing.
to do nothing but to say her little hit. her
Name
note.
5 Mariah songs real quick. Do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I can name.
Because the
a few.
only song that get constantly get played
I mean,
is that damn
quick.
Christmas song. That's the only song that constantly get played.
What?
That's our most played song.
No,
It's Christmas. That
My
Christmas
5
song.
songs involve rappers.
They're gonna name
Nah,
emotional.
don't get me wrong though.
Yesterday,
Mariah is that.
Yesterday with Boys and Men.
Mariah's that girl.
Mariah's dope. She's a goat.
We're not taking that away from
Mariah
us. We're just
is
saying,
the girl.
Mariah is
but
a
She
goat.
just didn't influence
Yeah,
us the
but
way.
Whitney-
Mary,
you know?
I mean, you can't
But
take.
come on.
Mary has. Listen, Mary gave the ghetto hope. Mary was. I'm sorry. Mary did her thing. I'm
Mary
sorry.
and Taraji P. Henson made Ghetto Girl sexy.
That's
Taraji,
facts.
that's a sexy
That's
Ghetto
facts.
Girl, dog. Oh my
No,
god.
I agree with you on
them
that.
two made Ghetto Girl sexy.
I agree with you on
She
that.
did that.
Mary?
Mary and Taraji P.
Taraji
Henson
did it through
made
Baby
Ghetto
Boy.
Girl sexy.
Taraji
What?
did it through Baby Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taraji, she got that around the way hood chick look, but she
Yeah.
fine
She
as
bad, yeah.
hell.
It was
She made Ghetto Girl sexy.
Nah, I couldn't stand her as a whatchamacallit, Yvette. It was
that
she
was
was
Talking about
cool.
Nurse and Yvette. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie,
but
she
no,
was-
it was what movie was that when I seen Taraji and I was like, damn, she bad. You know what? I think it was like when she was like doing them photo shoots and she started to like come up a
For
little
me, it
bit.
was still like
And
a
she
man
started
when she
showing
got thicker.
skin.
When she got thicker.
Yeah.
When she was skinny, I ain't like her. When she got older, I said, yeah.
Cause she used to be out there with around a lot of folks in Hollywood, like when she was coming up with a lot of Philly cats that I know.
All right, look, we got 2 minutes. We got to do
Yeah.
one more. One gotta go for the men. One more.
One
We're
more.
gonna do Luther, Al Green, Marvin Gaye.
Bob Luther.
Marvin Gaye. One gotta go.
Who was
You
it?
said
Who
what?
It's
was
hard.
it?
These
Who
are
was
three
it?
of my favorite
Who
male
was it?
artists. This
Who
is
was
hard
it?
for me.
Who was it?
Luther. I'm gonna do 4. Luther, Marvin Gaye, Al Green. I need a 4th one. Somebody give me a 4th one. I'm trying to think. Give me a 4th
No,
one.
and none of them gotta go to
Stevie.
me.
No,
none of
no,
them.
no, no, no.
Nobody
Hell
can go
no.
anyway.
You can't put Stevie in there.
Nobody can go.
Cause it's already hard with them three. You know,
Nah,
I'm
I
trying
would
to give
put
y'all a
Stevie in-
scapegoat. Cause
I
it's
would
hard
put-
to give
yeah,
one of them.
I
I'm
would
trying to give
put
y'all a
Stevie-
Al
scapegoat.
I would
Green,
put
Marvin
Stevie
Gaye,
in
or
there with
Luther
Mike
can't go
and
anywhere.
Prince.
Cause
I'm just-
that's hard. But I gotta make it hard. Who gotta go? You gotta
Stevie is
pick
my
one.
favorite.
can't.
Listen, gun to your head. You You gonna die if you don't. You gotta pick one.
I can't.
You gonna die?
I'll be.
All right, go ahead, Richmond. Who you got?
Unfortunately, I'm not too versed with Mr. Green, so he can get.
Let's stay together, brother.
What's that?
How can you?
I'm so tired of being
All
alone.
of them need to
tired.
stay.
I like that one.
Who you got?
Oh, Luther.
Nigga, I'm punching your face, bro. I love you, big
I'm
bro.
sorry.
Big bro, I love you, big
I'm
bro.
sorry.
We're about to fight, big
No,
bro.
we going off of the 3 or the 4?
The 3. Luther
yeah.
gotta go?
I love Luther.
Luther and Stevie Wonder in the same boat.
That's what I'm saying. I love Luther, but again, we going off of you asking me a question between
Luther,
Al
and you
Al
in the
Green.
music and you gonna say
Of course.
Luther?
Listen. I'll say Luther.
This nigga crazy.
I'm not crazy. That's my.
Now all 3 of them are.
Hold on.
Go ahead. What you got, MJ? What's your
I
answer?
connected.
I don't even think Luther should
He
be
should
in
be
that
with Stevie
category.
Wonder, but
I connected.
Right.
I connected with Marvin and I connected
All right,
with
who you
Al.
got?
at
Let
different
MJ go.
levels.
Who you got? This your time. Who you got? This your generation. Sean, baby.
Shine, baby.
So it's Luther. Let me get it straight. Luther, Al Green, and who else?
Marvin Gaye.
Oh, so and what was the 4th option?
No, that's it. It's just them 3.
Them 3.
I was trying to give y'all a scapegoat.
I'm dead. I'm
Me,
dead.
I'm with you, MJ. We both dead. We
Hey,
dead.
you know what's crazy
I'm
for
dead.
me too?
I'm with you,
dead.
MJ.
I'm dying with y'all. I can't. I'm
I'm
dying
dead
with
with
y'all.
you. I'm dead
I'm
with
dying.
you.
I can't get rid of any of them.
Yeah. I'm dying.
Richmond and Chase tripping.
Nah.
I'm dying. I can't pick one. I'm
First
sorry.
of all,
Yeah.
those 3 right there.
It's 2 icons.
That's hard.
That's icons.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think my first child was with Marvin Gaye. Okay. I think my second.
Pause.
I'm just saying.
Ain't no pause. That's real.
Okay.
I just picked how you said it.
Pause.
I'm just saying.
I just picked how you said it.
Listen, Lil Nas X.
I'm
Stop
just
it.
saying.
I was wondering why you call yourself Juicy Lip.
He's the old Nas X, not a little.
Listen,
That's
my
granddaddy.
first
That's
child,
granddaddy.
My first child was definitely Marvin Gaye. Was definitely sexual healing. Sexual healing was my
listen.
first child. I'm sure the candle was lit. I'm sure the candle was lit.
Yeah, listen.
Okay.
Wow.
I can't.
Yeah.
I
I wonder how Luther felt.
Who's
about
yours,
it.
Lele?
Oh my God, man. Well, I'm sorry. Damn it, Marvin Gaye. I can't. Like,
What? Take off the live, bro.
What?
Bruh.
Kick her out the studio,
Check out
Ali.
the live. Listen.
She's under the weather
If
today.
Mike was listen,
She
if
wasn't
Mike,
even supposed
if
to be on
Mike
the
was
live
making
today.
people faint,
But
at
she's
side
under
of
the
him,
weather, so we're gonna
Marvin
give that
Gaye
an
was
excuse.
known for making females faint from one note. Like that was his thing.
That's not even the point.
How
about you?
She's under the weather today.
Yeah, you tired.
We had
You
all
said-
our grandmas and they
Ruby mom said what?
Hey, you tired.
tripping.
Just go home and get some rest. You tired.
Call your mama, tell her that.
Ask
She
her.
was disappointed.
Give her the 3 girls though. Give her the 3 girls. She ain't do
All right,
that.
so the 3 females. Celia, so listen, we got the 3 females. Whitney, Mary J, or Mariah Carey. One gotta go.
Oh, Mariah Carey.
Now you're getting better.
I'm sorry, but you gotta go.
She said Mary. I mean, Mariah.
I
Did
agree.
you already know?
Yo.
You said Mariah gotta go?
No,
Don't get me
Yo.
wrong. She's a beast, though. She's a beast. Mariah's a beast.
I know, but I
Yeah,
had
I'm
to
about to
choose.
hit him up now.
Somebody
He
has
just
to be
texted me.
thrown off the boat.
Yeah.
All right, y'all give us a quick intermission.
video?
We gonna go in and get
Yeah, we about
our
to.
God
We gotta
fanatic
make sure
on.
we gotta call in our interviewer, right?
I
Yeah.
still
And get
can't-
Mr.
I still can't hear y'all too
I know,
well,
we
so
bu-
this
we
is
about to
gonna
get
be
off.
terrible.
We're about to
Okay,
get
so
off.
what should I do? What
So,
should I
yeah.
do?
Just hold on.
Hold tight, and then
yeah,
I'm
hold that.
gonna hit you back. I'm gonna send it back to you.
Okay.
All
It
right.
wasn't supposed to be.
All right. Okay.
Peace.
I just thought about that. Yeah, that's why they wasn't supposed to be on the what you call because there wasn't supposed to be nobody on the live with him. I don't know. Look at is MJ pose? Is he
Right.
pose?
All right. Hold on. I was trying to find a good picture.
Ah! That's a good one right there.
Oh,
Yeah, you look halfway smooth. Oh, you like singing. No, that was a good one.
that was a good one.
Yeah, no, when he was like this.
Oh, the John.
Yeah, he looked like he was in GQ magazine.
Right.
There you go.
GQ. Damn, what's this episode?
All right, so you're only gonna have, I guess, just leave MJ and don't put Lily back in. Cause I don't want to have all that static. Cause really, nobody's supposed to be on that interview.
Right.
Cause she don't even have headphones on, right?
And she said it sound bad for her.
Hold on. It's Lily. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, why? What's wrong? Yeah. So no. You actually fine. That's why I was saying less the headphones because you don't want the static. That's what I was about to say.
Don't judge me, man.
Yeah. That's why you need some.
Nah, that was tough. I mean, it's like no, but I rock. That's what I was saying. Like,
I couldn't do it. I had to make it hard for us.
So
now, if you would have added like on like some like.
I want to ask somebody petty real quick just to give us an out. I couldn't do it.
And then
all right, but look off the record. So you got James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, or Prince. One gotta go. I
just did it. James Brown. There's no Stevie Wonder or Prince. I mean, there's no Prince or Michael Jackson. You can't do that.
Nah, not yet.
No, you can't do that, bro. That's bro. That's not the same generation
at all.
Like James Brown before them. You can't. You gotta put James Brown with like Teddy Pendergrass.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, Mariah and whatchamacallit,
all the same.
Whitney was before them.
Whitney was like a couple years before Mariah, but it's same as far as genre and everything.
That's true.
All right,
Teddy Pendergrass,
Teddy Pendergrass, Barry White, or who am I missing? I had to tip my tongue. I got that fast.
You just said what's his name? Didn't you say him and
James
Mulatto?
Brown? Yeah. I'll do James Brown.
James Brown, my man, he ain't going nowhere. Ever.
Barry White gotta go.
Barry White gotta go.
I like practice what you preach. Barry White gotta go.
Oh yeah, Barry White is going for me.
I can't do Teddy Pendergrass. Turn off the list. I grew up listening to that. My grandma would blast his concerts all through the house. Like Cannonball.
What is PIT maneuver?
He was kissing white girls. Pit maneuver.
Huh?
A pit maneuver. That's when the cops get behind you and they push the back of your car to make you spin around so you can stop you.
Oh wow! They said a 12-year-old was killed in a crash after a state trooper used a PIT maneuver to stop a car.
Damn.
Yeah, that means he pushed the back of the car to the side to spin the car out.
And killed the 12-year-old?
That's crazy.
And this family is devastated.
I heard this morning that some girl got killed at her baby shower.
At the baby shower in New York. I seen that. That was sad.
Her baby father or her ex-boyfriend or something?
They
killed her?
Well, no, he didn't kill.
He shot her in the face.
It was the boys. The men who was arguing. And she was breaking it up. And he popped off and she got hit. Her and her daughter.
Well, her daughter was in her stomach. She was pregnant.
No, she has two children. The oldest one and the one in her shot in her stomach. Two of them.
All three of them did?
No. Only one.
Only she died, but the baby ain't gonna survive. I don't think.
No,
It's possible, but I don't know.
I mean, at a baby shower, it depends on how she was 9 months.
She was 9 months.
Oh, it's the baby could survive.
Yeah, I watched over it. I don't think she did because they didn't say any survivors. When they said somebody said she had 4 kids. Her family was correct, and they said she only had 2 children and she was pregnant. And her oldest daughter died with her out there that day. Got shot too.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Oh, he going to jail.
Hell yeah.
Jail.
She said, "Freaking Mary had to go." Tell him he is out there with Saul. He's with Saul. Let me just tell her she's with Saul.
Did we block her? We gotta block her. She don't have to watch the live no more. She can't watch the live no more.
She black. I thought you were talking about talent. That's why I said Mary.
Nah, Mary is infectious.
Because Wilson ain't hit notes that I don't think anybody could. She can't do
Mariah?
it no more. Yeah.
Oh, Mariah's a beast.
Mariah's a beast.
Mariah's a beast. And then not only that, her transition into the notes is ridiculous.
But I think
it was just about more she do. That's like Celine Dion. Beast.
Yeah.
That girl's a beast.
But I think Whitney's number one, period. Whitney will play around and create a hit.
Yeah.
Just on her vocal ability is ridiculous.
There we go.
They showed her rapping before.
Billy.
I never knew that. I ain't surprised.
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
She sound like Lil Baby.
She from Jersey.
Yeah.
So I ain't surprised.
What's up, man?
She from up top.
Oh, I had a.
Oh man, got the. He got the Gucci mask on.
Who got a mask?
Hold up, he got.
Yeah,
the
I got
mask.
some people in the crib doing some maintenance work.
Ah, okay.
Trustee said.
I feel you, man. Listen.
He in his Libra bag. Is that Billy Lennox?
That's me.
He in his
What
Libra
up?
bag. I just had one. I don't
What's
trust
up,
them
man?
folks.
How you request to join?
Huh?
I'm
I
trying.
hit request to join, but it's not letting me.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Well, you on now?
He's sure on it.
I'm just sending it out to some people. All right.
Hey, Mr.
Wow.
Fanatic, how are you?
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
I'm good. How are you?
I am amazing. How are you?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
waiting
good.
for him to get back on.
Just moved back to California, so enjoying this next phase of the venture here in California. Next phase of the journey here in California, doing music and whatnot. So everything's good.
Nice. Congratulations on making it back out.
Thank you.
How's the family?
Everybody's good. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm having some technical difficulties. 1 second. Shay, send me another request right quick.
Okay.
Gotta give a few people time to get back on
Hold
anyway. I see the legendary Bob Marley on the wall. Sitting behind MJ. That's my man right there. Bob Marley. Because we all shot the sheriff.
All right. Who is this other person?
All right, we on? So that's Uncle MJ. That's one of the cast members.
Oh, this is another one of your cast members. Okay.
Oh, yeah. He got stuck
How you
on
doing, good
production
brother?
today, so he couldn't make
What's
it
up,
into the
man? How are
studio.
you?
All right. Blessings to you. Peace.
No doubt.
Word. So yeah, man, we got a special guest in the building with us today. Grammy Award winning, multi-platinum producer.
Hey, get that man his flowers.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's give him his flowers. The one and only Mr. Andrea Fanatic. What's up,
AKA
Fanatic?
Billy Lennox.
I'm good, man. Glad to be here.
Yes.
Glad to see you guys doing your thing. It's important that we create these platforms to share information and help each other through the journey because it's not easy to navigate these waters. And so the more information we can share with each other, it makes it easier for the next people that are coming behind us.
That's facts.
Nice.
Oh, that's love. That's love.
Facts,
Appreciate
facts.
that, man. Yeah, that's basically what it's all about, man.
But before we get into it, you want to give the people a synopsis of who you are? And we'll start with Fanatic before we get into Billy Lennox.
Okay. My name is Fanatic. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I am a Grammy Award-winning multi-platinum producer. I produce records for Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Biggie, Little Kim, Will Smith, Boyz II Men, Anthony Hamilton, Raheem DeVaughn, Angie Stone, let's just go, Blackstreet, it just goes on and on.
Everybody
I've
on
been
my
very
playlist.
blessed in my career and have been able to work with iconic artists in the history of music, and it's amazing journey so far.
Awesome, man.
Kevin said you spoke of everybody on his playlist. You just said Backstreet. I didn't know you worked with Will Smith. I wasn't aware
Yeah,
of that.
yes, very early on in my career. I was on the Big Willie Style album. Like
Ooh.
best-selling
That's
album.
that's one of his best albums, straight platinum.
Willie Style.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first song on there, right?
Shout
They know.
out to Philly.
Shout out to
you
Philly.
already know,
You
yeah.
know,
Hand
Will
clap.
Smith, Will Smith like first 3 albums went platinum. That's crazy. All 3.
Yeah.
Will's a genius too.
No, all
I don't think we gave
actually
Will his
his
flowers.
first
Can Will
4.
get
His
some
first
flowers?
4 album went platinum.
Mm-hmm.
They make fun of his rapping. I'm trying to
Yeah.
rap like him. Then
Yeah, man,
he went
Will.
platinum 4 times in a row.
What was that guy?
It's the guy back in the day.
They said, well,
That
me,
guy?
me and Finette, no, he was saying that Will's that guy, but me and you always got that running joke. He was like, man, Will Smith's still your best rapper out of Philly.
Will Smith is the biggest
Hey,
rapper
listen,
to come out of Philly.
he is.
Yeah, I
Meek
mean,
Mills is doing his
But
thing,
he and
and
Will Smith big.
we've had other artists, State Property and all these other artists come out of there. but Will Smith was the first rapper
Black
to win a
for the
Grammy,
roots.
and he's like the biggest rapper to ever come from Philly.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
ain't doing too bad. He our biggest. I don't care what
statistically-
nobody says.
I mean, if you want to give him as far as his things with that, as far as with statistics and all of that stuff, then yeah.
All right, so before we go deep, Fanatic, I'm going to let Chase pose his question. Or was that Kevin? Who started with the female and the male first?
That was me.
Oh yeah, that was Kev.
Okay. Go ahead, brother Kevin.
Well, let me ask you.
I'm sorry, say that again.
We're gonna ask you a question that we was posing earlier on the segment before you got on. We want to get your thought process on it since you work with probably some of these artists.
Okay.
So let's hope you don't get in trouble. But so look, right, one gotta go. I got a male version and a female version. I'm gonna give you the female version first. One gotta go. Mariah, Whitney, or Mary J. Blige. Who gotta go?
Not because of talent, because of who touched you or
Yeah, he
you know
knows that, I'm
who
sure.
you like the most, as far as like not who you like, but who influenced you the most.
Who you connected with?
Who you connected with, yeah.
I mean, of course, Mary J. Blige was probably a greater influence because she came in on hip hop and R&B, and hip hop is my foundation and how I got into the music business, doing hip hop, and it was a great time in music when hip hop and R&B were having this fusion, and she was one of the front runners when that was going on. So that was like, she had the most impact and influence out of me, on me, and as well as how raw she was. She definitely is somebody that really had a huge effect on me and influence on me. Whitney Houston, because of how big she was, but the body of work wasn't as consistent as Mary J. Blige. I think Whitney had her moment, and then it was just, once she got to the top, it was just so many breaks in between. We didn't really get to see her at her best for a very, very, very long time. It was a short window. If you really look at it, it was only probably about 2 or 3 albums that she was at the top of her game. Which in the music business,
That's a long time.
2 or 3 albums, we look at it now because artists put out music so fast. We look at it like it's a small window of time. An artist can put out 2 albums in a year, and be on 1 million guest appearances as well as EPs. But back then, artists would put out an album, and it would take a year to make the album. It would take a year to promote the album. It would take another year to tour the album. So it was 3 to 4 years before you would even see that artist come back again. So they would take breaks, 4 or 5 year breaks between albums. And then, and that's just an artist that is constantly working. That's not an artist that's dealing with personal issues and things like that even slow that process down even more. So it might be 6, 7 years before you see the next Whitney album, and things like that. So, but probably Mary J. Blige had the greatest effect on me, and the one that I really revered the most.
Okay.
All right, that's good. But the question is,
So
who going?
Who gotta go?
Who
Who
gotta
gotta
go?
go?
Mariah, that was clear.
So Mariah's the one who gotta go?
Yeah, so Mariah gotta go.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's good.
That was a
He's
great,
not
that was an
real
amazing breakdown. I appreciate that, but it's like, who gotta go? I'm like, did you just try to talk around the question?
Mariah definitely has to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for our,
Although, I
Okay.
can't say that. I can't take that back. Hold up, I gotta take that back.
all right, think about it.
Hold on, I gotta
Got
take that back.
Mariah,
Mariah,
Whitney,
was one of
Mariah's
my
the beast,
records.
but
and
She's
Mary.
bringing paper in the house.
Oh,
Yeah,
she,
that is.
you know what?
hey, she bring. Hey, you know, you have a right to be biased for that one, man. She bringing paper in the house.
What is the man? Give him the man.
All right,
Exactly.
so for the men, the question for men, who
I
gotta
love Mariah.
Okay. All right, so for the men, who gotta go? For the men, you got Marvin Gaye, Luther, or Al Green. Now you got 2 choices: gun to your head. One gotta go, or you just gonna die. Now I'm gonna let you know who picked what. Me and Sid.
No.
No,
Oh, you don't want to influence him? All right, we're not gonna influence. We're not gonna influence you. Go ahead, do
I ain't
your
gonna try to
thing.
influence.
I ain't trying to influence. I'm just saying. So like I said, gun to your head. You gotta pick one to go, or you gotta die. What you doing?
That's a tough one. Those are like 3.
I know. That's why I picked.
These are icons that we all grew up
Listen,
on.
3 of my favorites.
I'm going with Marvin Gaye because he's the greatest singer of all time.
Yo, I always say
I'm
that.
going with Al Green because he just had so much soul. Luther is great, but Luther didn't have the same effect on me as Al Green and Marvin Gaye. You know? So Luther's got to go.
Okay, well,
Hey,
listen.
man, you said the same thing.
Now, I will say this, Fanatic. Me and you on the same page. I tell everybody, my favorite person of all time is Michael Jackson. My favorite singer of all time is Al Green. Like, he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT vocally to me.
He thought was the most iconic.
All right, that's not him telling my favorite and the favorite his favorite. I'm not influencing him. He got a plethora of musical knowledge in his head. He ain't gonna let me influence him on his music. Like, no.
Nah,
But
so-
Marvin Gaye is definitely the GOAT vocally. I don't care what nobody said. Greatest male singer of all time.
All right, so the
Right.
question that was posed earlier, before we gonna get this out of the way, before
Hands
we go
down.
deep, before we get deep,
I'll-
who's your favorite most iconic artist of this generation? Not of our generation, but this generation.
right now.
Yeah, currently.
Kanye West for me.
Okay.
We got 3
Yeah,
episodes.
I think
I think
yeah.
Kanye
Can we
West
get
is the
some
type of
bombs? Can
artist
we
that-
some sirens for
He
that
has
one?
reinvented himself a million times. Every single album he's reinventing himself. I wasn't a great big fan of this last album that just dropped, but everything prior to that, every single time he has changed his musical sound, how he's coming. He's just constantly reinventing himself every time.
Mm-hmm.
But so, love him or hate him, he's been
Right.
consistently doing it for a very
He's
long
the new
time.
Trump.
And a lot of people haven't done that.
Wow.
Okay, so look, quick
Wait.
question, segue off, just real quick, I want to ask. Because we got 3 people up here who said Kanye West. So, Fanatic, what's your favorite Kanye album?
What's my favorite Kanye album?
Like you said, each album is something different, something new, different style, different sound. What's your favorite Kanye album?
Probably my beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy. Yeah, probably that one. Yeah, probably that one.
What's yours? I think you already told me yours.
Yeah, late registration.
Late registration. What's yours?
I
Which
don't
one?
have a favorite.
My favorite Kanye album is 808 Heartbreaks. I don't care what nobody say.
Mm-hmm.
That joint crazy.
It's a good album.
That album's dope too.
That album was fire.
Which, by the way, if you realize with that album, he had just sold a bunch of records on the previous album, right?
Right, I remember. Yeah.
So for an artist to come in and say, "All right, I've reached the apex. I'm in the conversation as the top 3 rappers right now in the game. And my next album, I'm not even gonna rap on my next album.
Right.
I'm gonna sing on it.
And he went
What do you mean
hard
you're
with
gonna
the
sing?
singing. And he
No,
went
I'm gonna
hard.
sing the entire
The
album.
entire album.
I'm gonna sing it through auto-tune.
What?
After my partner Jay-Z just made a record called "The Death About It,"
Exactly.
and I'm still gonna make this record, and I'm gonna have the biggest album of the year.
And
with
he did all that.
He did it.
And he
And
listen, he went hard.
That's like career suicide for some people, but he did it.
Listen, that's how you know he was bold and great. Man, Love Lockdown, my favorite, Heartless, amazing. Come on, man.
He always went against the grain, though.
That's what makes him who he is.
He always
Okay.
went against the grain.
But go ahead, Sage.
So yeah, Fanatic. So let me ask you, coming from a different generation, right, of music, I want to know your thoughts on the music today. On what's missing. Do you
Wait,
think we
say
have
again?
do we have any iconic music today?
What's your thoughts on the music
your
of
thoughts on the
today,
music of
and
today?
what you think is missing? And do we have any iconic artists
Right.
and the younger artists?
All right. And especially you can definitely compare that to some of the hits that you helped create.
The music of today is very different. I still think that they have moments. They have some artists that are still, creating great music. It's very simplistic to what I'm used to and what I grew up on and what I experienced as a producer in the game. But there are moments like we just had this Drake album. It was crazy that I found myself loving 90% of the album, 95% of the album. There are icons like Drake and like Kanye and like Future and Kendrick and a couple of different artists that still move the culture and do something different. Tyler, the Creator. So, there's still enough artists that are doing something different that continue to push the culture of the music. Although, it needs to be more. because I see a lot of artists doing the same thing. Also, too, the R&B is not as good as it used to be because I see a lot of artists doing the same thing. And these are like talented artists like her and some of these other artists that have the ability to do something different. Which the only way you can do something different is to fuse genres of music. Every icon that you know fused genres of music, which allowed them to separate themselves from everybody else and create their own thing. We don't have a lot of that going on right now in the R&B space. We have a lot of artists just singing over trap R&B, and it's not really different. So I don't know what a Tank record sounds like versus a Her record. I know vocally how they sound differently, but when I listen to them musically, I don't know the difference. Whereas I could listen to a Aaliyah song, and I knew Timberland's production immediately put a staple on her sound. And the same way that D'Angelo, as soon as you hear a D'Angelo track, you know it's D'Angelo by working with Questlove and whatever, or Raphael Sadiq or whatever. So I don't see enough signature going on musically now like we used to. And that's how you create icons. That's how you make music interesting, because you have all these different producers creating these signature sounds musically, and we don't really see that anymore. We don't even really see that vocally either, because, you know, when D'Angelo came out, he was doing a vocal harmony style that you knew it was him as soon as you heard it. Missy Elliott was doing a vocal harmony style that you knew it was her when you heard it. Even when she produced other artists, you could hear her vocal styling and arrangement and the way she did her harmonies in there. So we don't really have those signature things anymore that would separate these artists from another.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you too. So it's funny that you brought up Missy. So I know me and Sage, we was in the crib one night and we was listening to the first Beyonce album. We was just going through records, and it was the song Signs. And she didn't know that Missy had did that record, and you got a record on that album too, Speechless. So if you can, like, talk to us and tell us what that experience was like when, you know, you worked with Beyonce on that album.
So I was in the studio in Atlanta working on Boys to Men, and with Dave Pensado was mixing it.
Shout out to Dave Pensado.
This a girl came in the room that he knew just to say hi, and he introduced me to her, and she was listening to what we were creating, and she was like, it just so happened she went to the same music school that I went to in Atlanta, the Art Institute of Atlanta. And when we had that conversation, the rapport was there all of a sudden now, because we both had the same experiences in terms of college. And so from there, he asked me, do I have anything for Beyonce? So I was like, yeah. So I gave her a CD of tracks at that moment, and I didn't hear anything back from them for like 6 months. And then out of the blue one night, I get a call, and they're like, you got to go to the Hip Factory tomorrow to mix the Beyonce record.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah. I don't have any Beyonce record. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, Beyonce wrote one of your tracks, and it made the album, so they're mixing the album tomorrow. And the next thing you know, I was in the studio with her mixing the record. And it just kind of shows you, like, you got to just plant seeds and just keep moving, not worry about, like, I sent them the record and they haven't gotten back to me or anything like that, because a lot of these artists, they record on their own time when inspiration hits them. And it just so happened she was on a flight and was going through tracks and just happened to listen to my CD at that time. And that was like 6 months after I had already given her the track, and it just happened just like that. And so we went in the studio and mixed the record. It was the record that I did on her. I pride myself in being able to take artists in a place that they never have been before with my music. And when I worked with her, this is the first time she did a record where she was actually talking about an intimate encounter with another guy. Because she was coming from Destiny's Child, so she was just doing love songs. This was about her getting it popping with another dude, right? So this is the first time she had really talked about that, and it was very visual. And she said that the track inspired that when they wrote it. It just gave that vibe to her. And it's so crazy, like, when you make the music, that was my thought in my head. It's like, yo, this would be a great, you know, track for, like, you know, when you want to get with your woman or whatever, right? And it felt like that. The music felt like that. The music was very sexual, all of this. And those are my thoughts. And it shows you the power of music because she was able to go in the studio and write the song that I was hearing in my head without even speaking to me. And so we went in there and mixed the record. She's very much of a perfectionist because she doesn't just record her vocals and just let it go. She's in there mixing the record with you.
Producing it, yeah.
She's very meticulous about every aspect of the record, from the production to her vocal arrangement to the arrangement of the song, the guitars, everything. So, and I had never experienced that before. I never really worked with the artist. Usually you send them the track, they record it, they mix it, and it's out. This is the first time, like, she's actually in the mixing session, and we're tweaking different aspects of the song and the arrangement and everything. So it was really dope, and I know that record meant something to her because every time I would see her after that, she would talk about that record. She would say how that record is amazing, and she would just always talk about it. She told me Prince learned the song and played it for her and for the Grammys. She said that Prince said that was her favorite song right now. So it was just interesting how that song went through that whole process and touched so many different people and people that I admire and respect.
Wow, that's what's up, man.
Yeah. That's amazing. I got a question for you. I want to ask a question. I'm sorry. I ask you a question because you talked a little bit ago about authenticity, basically about today's where everybody sound the same. Do you think it's because the producers sound the same? Because back in the day, you had, like you said, you knew a Timbaland beat or a Q-Tip beat or a Dre beat, RZA. Like you knew these guys' beats. Where today it seems like every producer beat is the same. Like they're following one sound. That's the sound that's popping. That's the sound that's selling. So do you feel as though that's missing from today?
Well, those producers that you just named, right? You do realize they all use live instrumentation,
right,
with their production,
right?
Which is what I still do to this day, because Dre has live musicians coming in playing behind his tracks. Timbaland had guitars on top of his tracks. All these producers were using live instrumentation on top of their tracks.
Yeah, I always say today is missing. Today's too computerized. It's missing real instruments.
Right. So it changes. It gives them their own sound because even though he had the drum programming, right, anybody could sample those same Timbaland drum sounds and program the beats with the double beats and all that.
Right.
But when you got the guitar doing all of these chords and things on it that he was doing on the Genuine stuff and on the Aaliyah stuff and the Missy stuff, right? Sage can play guitar and I can play guitar, but there's a human element in there that even if we play the same exact chords, it's not going to sound exactly the same.
Right.
So I always encourage producers to use live instrumentation because you're not going to play it exactly the same. Prince plays guitar, Santana plays guitar, but they don't play the same. They have different styles that they play, and you hear it in their music. And that's why all back in the day, all these artists sounded different because they had live instrumentation. So the musicianship changed the sound. That the Ozzy brothers only sounded like the Ozzy brothers. The Ohio players only sounded like the Ohio players.
Right.
And the same thing with Dre and Timbaland and any Raphael Sadiq, any of these producers that were using live instrumentation.
Because you were hearing themselves. That's why I think like when you said, you could play the same chord, both of y'all, but it sounds different because that's yourselves fusing in with the music. You're hearing your essence. You're hearing yourself.
I also feel
exactly.
I also feel like the loyalty to your producer is gone because I feel like when you had like the Neptunes working on somebody's album, or you had a certain producer working on the album, it gave them that sound. That was you know what I'm saying? It was also that too. Like if you're working with the majority of your album is one producer is different. Like now I want to be from him, and be from him, and be from him, and be, you know what I'm saying? And then now to compete, I feel like all the producers is making similar beats. You feel what I'm saying? It's not it ain't no real loyalty to one producer when it comes to an artist.
Versus being one producer, that album becomes his baby. He takes it deeper.
So after I follow up with this, I'm gonna go a little deep with Fanatic. But this last question, Fanatic. Go ahead. You can respond to that.
Yeah, because usually they would have the producer create the foundation of the record. So if the Neptunes were doing the album, they would do 4 or 5 cuts on the album to create the foundation and the direction, and then they would bring other producers in. But the majority of the record was produced by the Neptunes. So that was the sound and the vibe of the artist at that time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also think too it's the A&R too. Just because I feel like a lot of like labels and stuff, they kind of scared to take that risk on a new sound or shit, whatever that thing is. It's just if this the last thing that worked, we need more of this, we need more of that. And I know you definitely can speak to something like that with with the labels of like dealing with that where it's like you gave them beats and it was just like that ain't what you want. And then a couple months later your record comes out and then they calling yo you got any more beats like that. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, but I'm gonna let Sage ask you what you gonna ask.
Before I go into that, I was just going to get his opinion on best female entertainer and male entertainment of this time.
Wait, say that again?
Best male and female entertainment of this time.
Of this time, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let me get like Kevin. Mine was
Okay.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to give it to Beyonce because she is.
Exactly.
She has been doing it for a very long time. Every time she comes out, it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
She always constantly moves the culture in a different direction, visually, as well as her stage show, as well as the records that she's creating. So you got to kind of give it to her. I like what her is doing. I still would like to see a little bit more from her because she can sing and play anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at artists from back in the day, like Michael Jackson and Prince and all these different artists, they were doing, on their albums, they were doing R&B, soul, rock, pop.
Right.
They were doing all these different genres. And sometimes even fusing all that into one song. So I'd like to see more of that from her. But Beyonce definitely, for the females. For the males, dang, a little dry, but...
You think it's dry? Well, it's dry.
Yeah.
I said Bruno Mars, hands down, best
I just
entertainer.
gonna tell him before you answer. Did you just get on me about that?
I'm just trying to.
No, you're trying to influence him.
Tell him it's Bruno Mars, Fanatic.
Yeah, I think it is Bruno Mars because
Yeah,
he's been the most
how you just
consistent.
influence him like that? She out of pocket.
And you see, like with this new record that he just did with Anderson .Paak, like,
Oh man.
it totally like changed. It made
He
you
took it
stop
back
and
in the
listen,
day.
like, so what this? And it was great. It was a great record that was different than what everybody else was doing, and it made you stop and like really listen. Like, oh, this is some different shit here.
Right. All right. So I'm going to. I want you to give us your opinion on how important it is for you as an artist, as a producer, as a celebrity, an iconic figure, creating some iconic music. It is to be on board with being a culture pusher. Now, I know you got the shirt on. I am a culture pusher, and I'm a culture pusher too, not just of music, but of my culture, of our culture, and our culture as in the people that look like you and I. We spoke about this briefly before, and the things that we're trying to push in with a lot of projects, of course, that we have on the table, creating some iconic music, BBMIC, Buy Black Movement Investment Company, the things we talked about to unify. How important is it for the community and our influencers to come together to create some change?
It's so important because of the fact that it's been proven in history that anytime we come together, we can make something happen. And that's all the way down from the Underground Railroad to the Civil Rights Movement to Obama in office. Like, we have the ability to come together and do amazing things. And I think, I think that's what they fear about us. And that's why they try to divide us and separate us, because when we do come together, we always take over. We always make something amazing happen. So it's so important that we do stay unified through our music and through the things that we're doing in culture. It's so important that we understand the importance of ownership. It's so important that we understand the importance of education and just having an open dialogue constantly on how we can unite to do things in the community, how we can unite in changes in structure, because we're putting a system that wasn't really designed for us. Living here in America, like, this wasn't really designed for us. The laws were not, created around us. We've had to fit into a system and adjust to, white people owning things and trying to, fit into what they're doing. And so the only way to change that is for us to get our own and own our own stuff and really change the dynamic of how they're treating us by understanding the importance of ownership, understanding the importance of constantly moving the culture forward, not falling for things that divide us, not falling for things that help that keep us from moving forward. It's so important that we understand that we need to be the front runners and continue to be that. And the only way that we can do that is to stick together, is to come together and create our own, The record business at this point is, and when you look in the executive circle of the record business, it's probably like 85% white. And so I'm like, why are white people really deciding about our culture and our music? And so there was a time that wasn't happening. You had your own departments, but now everything is mixed together, and they're having a say-so in what culture is, the culture that we're creating. So it's so important that we understand, our position in all of this, and that's the only way that we can continue to change the dynamics and the landscape of how everything has been set up in this country to oppress us.
That's facts.
That's
that.
facts. So I want you to elaborate a little bit on something on the post that I read on your page a while ago, because really I was gonna text you about it, and then I forgot all about it. I got busy because you made a statement in a post that you had posted that said that our NFL players, our entertainers, is the new Negro, the new form of slavery. It actually inspired me that wrote a chapter inside of the book that's actually about to come out real soon that we're doing up over here. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. When you look at it, there was a time where we weren't able to play these sports with them on the same playing field with them. There were times that segregation wouldn't allow us to go to school with them and play college sports or professional sports. So what did we do? We created our own. We had our own Negro leagues. We had our own basketball leagues, all these different things that we had, and we owned those things. And then at some point, we started going back over there playing with them, and they started letting us in, and then they saw how we changed the dynamics of all of this stuff. And what ended up happening is they were like, well, they're the show. They're the entertainment. Like, the dunk didn't exist until we did it. All these, the way Steph Curry shoots three-pointer didn't exist until we did it. All these different things started happening by us bringing what we bring to entertainment and sports. And so now they let us in there, and you got 90% of the athletes are African Americans, but everybody in upper management and ownership is white. So I'm like, we have to understand that we bring something to the NBA. Let's take the NBA, for instance. We bring something to the NBA that could not exist without us. We have superstars, bona fide superstars that have drawing power. So this should be about equity. This should be about partnership. I know when LeBron James left Cleveland, the city fell to pieces. So when you have that type of impact economically on a city, you got to talk equity. We got to be in an equity deal. We're building brands. Cleveland Cavaliers weren't even relevant until LeBron James came in there and changed the whole dynamic of everything. So when you have that type of impact, we got to be talking about equity. When you talk about Kobe Bryant carrying the Lakers when they were terrible for the last 20 years, or before the last time they won a championship. After that, they were terrible. But they're still selling out because Kobe Bryant is the draw. On a good team or a bad team, people want to see him play. So when you have that type of drawing power, you got to start talking partnership. You got to start talking equity situations and things like that. And until we do that, we're always going to be considered the talent or the entertainment. When the whole George Floyd thing happened, that was our opportunity to say when we went into the bubble, like, we're not playing unless we sit down and have a real conversation about equity and partnership, a real partnership. We fell for, let's put T-shirts on and say Black Lives Matter and put it on the court and let's get back out there and start playing so that they won't lose their television contracts or their sponsors and things like that. And I was like, that was the moment.
Right.
That was the moment for us to stand up and do something and change the dynamic. Because think about this, too.
Right now.
All of these players the majority of these players come from impoverished backgrounds.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time they're seeing real generational wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I came from nothing and I've made over $100 million in playing professional sports, like I came from nothing. How many hundreds of millions of dollars do I need before I step up and take a stand and say, hey, I'm not playing unless we change how this whole thing is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change it now. Like, let me change it for the betterment of the future for these new athletes coming in here so that they don't have to be in the same situation that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to see if you can amass hundreds of millions of dollars to sacrifice and stand up for our people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even like with the whole thing now, when you I'm sorry, you about to say something?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I want to interject.
Yeah, I was just gonna basically say
similar.
with the whole resurgence of the NCAA rules now, like how players are able to monetize, like, you know, off of that, and like just little things like that. I mean, you starting to see the system is starting to break. So, yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that though.
Go ahead.
That should have been implemented a long time ago.
A long time ago, right?
These white schools that didn't want us to play there before now are making millions and millions of dollars every year off of these athletes with their likeness, with these tournaments, you know, everything that they're doing, selling merchandise and all kinds of stuff off of these black athletes. And these coaches are getting $1 million contracts, they're getting shoe contracts, the school is. So we're doing all of this business, and their justification is, well, you're getting a free education. I'm like, I would rather have a piece of what you're getting than the free education. As a matter of fact, let me get both of that.
Right.
How about that? Much is beneficial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it right there. MJ,
Oh,
you can
MJ.
go, and then I'll proceed after you.
Well, I agree 1,000% with the good brother on everything he said. There are initiatives out here, though. I want to make this clear to the viewer that it's a lot of hope. I mean, not even just, okay, so I'm in film and television. I've been in film and television for 15 years, right? When I first started in film and television, I was, as a black man, out of 200 people in a production, I was the only black person in the production out of 200 people. 15 years fast forward now, there's a lot of us on production, not just in production, but there's a lot of people producing. There's a lot of minority. They are pushing the envelope in our favor in this space. Now, I'm not. What he was referring to was the NCAA, which is absolutely correct. I agree 1,000%. The kids should have been getting paid a long time ago for their effort. I agree with the partnership with the icon stars of the NBA and the NFL or any type of sport that when I am LeBron or Steph Curry and I'm the
we lost
Word.
you.
Damn, we lost you.
Okay, hold up. I just made it back. My phone. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone died for 2 seconds. But when Steph Curry is the draw, when he's the draw, then it's like why not partner with him? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I agree 1,000%. But I will say that in the space of film and television, they are moving in. They're giving a lot of us more opportunity to create content, to develop content, produce content. We are more executive. We're more in better spaces than we ever were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's happening in that industry. I can't speak about the music industry because I'm not in the music industry, but I'm seeing the development in that.
Right.
No, and I agree, and I really think that. Okay, I agree, and I wholeheartedly believe. Wait, do we have sound?
Yeah, but just projecting where it can't really
No, I don't think. Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't hear MJ here talking. Okay. I truly agree with you too, MJ, on that. But in reference to what Fanatic was saying, which was the question posed of why he feels as though, this is the new form of Negro and slavery. I agree. And what happens was whenever we get extra woke, I should say, and bring our issues to the table, this is what they do. Just like when you get a few of us that complain about discrimination in the workplace, or this company doesn't have a certain amount of melanated people working for them, then they open up the doors and say, come in, because we're making noise. So once we start taking some initiative to create platforms that will empower us, they come in and throw in a better deal to pull our people still away from what's most important, which is unification. And we're going to need that from the black community, from our celebrities, from our athletes, from our entertainers. We're going to need that from all of us to work together in order to be economically free.
Right, and that's their way of controlling us now. Is let me go give somebody a deal to buy their silence. Let me pay them. Let me put them in a position that they normally wouldn't be in, or let me give them an opportunity that they never got before, so that I can keep them from uniting with their people and giving them information on how they can rise by uniting with each other. So now you see Al Sharpton has a television show on MSNBC now, where, when he was running around with Martin Luther King, he didn't have any of that. He wasn't making any money. So the way to, so now when you put a person in a position of, let me give you money, let me give you sponsorship, let me give you a platform, right, on my platform, when they're doing that, right, now all of a sudden, he can't be so vocal at that point, because it's like
the narrative.
You just changed his whole financial situation. So now he's not going to be so vocal on everything that are issues within our community. And so we have to watch out for that, because these sponsors are a big part of what we do. So if I'm a big artist like Jay-Z and I have a big sponsorship deal, I can't be as vocal as I want to be, because it compromises, their views and what they're doing. And they're quick to say, we denounce our partnership with this person because of what he feels or whatever. So compromising is important for us to have our own, so we don't have to be put in that position.
Exactly. Right. And that's in the process. We building. Before I go into my next question, I'm laughing at Wavy. Hey, Wavy, shout out to Wavy. AKA Biggie over here. Wavy is messing with you, Fanatic, asking why you got a mask on in the house. What's going on? So
I told you I got some people doing some maintenance in the other room with the table and stuff, and so I don't want to catch nothing, huh? Yeah. I'm too pretty to catch COVID.
I know that's right.
I'm too sexy for it.
Too pretty or too Hollywood.
I don't want no problem.
I know that's right. No. So, before we move on, that was well said, Fanatic. You made me tear up a little bit. I get a little emotional, as I was saying the last week when we had Rashid was on, right?
Yeah, Rashid. Yeah.
Right. And this was my question to him, and I asked that to.
Why is it so obvious to us? But then, as a people, as a huge group of people, we can't put these things, these ideologies and these thoughts together to do it on a grand scale collectively.
Right.
Well, we've done that before. The civil rights movement was, happened during the time of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And no matter what side you chose, right, it still was all for the betterment of black people, and we all were still on the same page.
Right.
So why can't that happen now, that we all collectively are on the same page for what we deserve?
Exactly. And I asked that question based off, I will continue to ask all of our guests that we have on that would be public figures and iconic figures like yourself, because of what my agenda is, our personal agenda is on this platform. And of course, a synopsis of that story of what we spoke. As I was saying, as for a woman, right? And MJ, this is for you too, because you wasn't on last week, I don't believe. But as a woman, and all the women on our live, all the women in this world being men, black male, being the head of our culture, right? Because all of the different ethnic groups around the world have male and female species, right? So we know the men is supposed to be, according to our culture, the provider and the protector. So I'll even take provider off of the table for now because we don't want to get into the argument women can create income too. We get that. But as far as protection goes, when it comes down to the men on men, I would say ego, whereas though they're trying to take over when the male's at the forefront. As a black woman or melanated woman, you know, our concern is high because when we have 1.5 missing men from our communities due to death, drugs, gangs and things of that nature, we should all sit uncomfortable, with trying to create change or be a part and take part in that change. Do you agree to that? Because as a black woman, I'm highly concerned if 1.5 of our men is missing from the community. We're on a shortage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, definitely. You definitely, and incarceration is a big part of that as well. So you need anybody that is very vocal about changing our community, whether it be male or female, gay or straight, whatever it is. We still have to come together collectively and move it, and you can't just rely on one gender to move it forward or to take the lead. That's a collective conversation that we all have, especially now that women are getting more opportunities. They're having more of a voice in the community and in social issues, and are being respected by white America. You have to unite with them, and you have to sit with them and have the conversation and make sure they're on the same page with you, because they're getting the opportunity to be vocal in settings that men are being compromised in right now.
So Kevin has a question next. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Kevin go and ask because I want him to ask him a question in reference to something else. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I didn't really have a question. I kind of wanted to give you my viewpoint as far as an answer to your question you just posed a minute ago about why can't we come together, and I want to see if you agree with what I think or differently. I feel as though we can't come together because I feel as though as black folks we're selfish in the sense of as long as I'm doing better than you, I'm good. I feel as though you spoke on it a little earlier about we'll complain, but they'll go get one nigga a deal, then we'll be quiet. In the sense of like I'll complain as the outside slave, but the minute you bring me in the house, I'm cool. I got AC now. I ain't complaining no more. Them niggas hot. Sorry, not niggas, but them slaves hot. I ain't hot no more. I'm actually getting light skin. I'm not in the sun no more. It's like but it seems to be that way. Like as long as and I think it comes back to what you said, Fanatic, about most of these stars and celebrities. They come from poverty. So when you go so long starving, and you finally eating, it's hard for you to get that meal up. It's hard for you to give it up. Yeah, you got so much, but you want more because that hunger, I feel like you're trying to make up for all the times you were starving by trying to overeat now. So I feel like until we overcome that selfishness and realize that I might have to start Monday night so we all can eat Tuesday night, I feel like we're going to be still stuck in the same place. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you got to have the conversation because you hit it right on the head. It started with the house nigga and the field nigga syndrome. It started there. And when you're not having that conversation constantly and people understanding what that really is, because that shit happened so long ago, and it's still very relevant to this day. And we don't even see it. A lot of us don't even see it. My son doesn't even know what that is. Like trying to explain that ideology, he doesn't know what that is. Then you got your mother telling you, get over that, move on. And you got people saying, man, they're giving us something, man. We got to be happy with what they're giving us. You got to understand that until we really have that whole conversation. Because when you see, as you see when we did Roots, when they just brought Roots back, you had Snoop and everybody else on there talking about, man, we don't want to see niggas getting beat. We don't want to see that shit no more, right? Not understanding that slavery wasn't about the brutality of slavery. That's the low-hanging fruit. We know that. It's the mind control.
Right, the mental breakdown, the destruction of the mind.
Able to last all the way up to this time. Because when you're born and they're telling you, you ain't nothing, you ain't shit, you're half a human, you can't do nothing without me, and you're planning all of these ideologies and these children all the way up to their adults until they're out of here, and they're passing that information on down generation after generation and generation, you start believing you can't do nothing without a white person.
Right.
That's why when you go to the NBA, you got the white attorney, the white agent,
Right, exactly.
you got your white accountant, you got all
Everything
these,
got to be
like,
overseen by them.
yeah, I'm like, but we've proven that we have black people in those same positions and those same jobs that can do it just as well. Rich Paul is a shining example of somebody that can
just about to say
do something
yes,
that can affect everything. He's basically shaking up the NBA because they're afraid of him now because he represents so many players.
Right.
But why aren't there 5,
Dale.
6, 7, 8 different Rich Pauls representing our people?
Right.
So you got to have the conversation about slavery and the effects of it and what it did to us.
That's why
we have yet
it.
to really pull all of our people together and break down that whole thing and understand why it's still relevant today and why it affects us and our progress as black people.
And I just want to say this real quick, and I'm done. We have to also understand, I feel all black folks that, and it's funny because you talk about black men and black women, you can contribute this to a relationship. It's not me versus you versus the problem.
Exactly.
It's us versus the problem.
Right.
I don't care if you.
Definitely.
I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're male, if you're woman, if you're trans or religion. They gonna see you only as a nigga.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day,
the
whatever
best
problems we got amongst each other, let's come together, get these people out the way. Then we'll face our problem that we got inside, so we can, get that down and out the way.
And
but we have to do that.
I think you hit it on the nail with. What you ready to do something, Give my bars. Hot 16. I think you hit it like on the nail with the last thing that you just said, because we really have to have these conversations. This is why we're, one of the reasons why we created this platform, and actually to bond and try to unify with our influences in our role in our artists, because we realize how big the influences have on our children, right? So with that being said, what is it doing? Okay, so with that being said, you being a culture pusher, I wanted to hear a little bit more about the organization that you actually had that you were supporting, standing behind, because I know you are in support of all things in pertaining to us. And this is for everybody that is out there viewing or listening, and getting in on the movement that we're actually, putting together, just having these conversations so that we can do what one of our ancestors was trying to do. As he said, one of his worst mistakes was trying to wake up a sleeping people. You know what I mean? You must first wake the people up in order to get results. And he was speaking in reference to us, and that was Malcolm X. No, that wasn't Marcus Garvey. That was Malcolm X. So I felt like you. 2020 has woken us up. You know what I mean? We had Corona, we had the George Floyd situation, a whole lot of others. We have woken up. So we need to unite under the banners of actually rebuilding infrastructure in pertaining to us. And I mean us as in people that look like us as being the United States, citizens of America, us, all the way around the boards. But we got to dig America up from its roots so that we can recreate a strong foundation, because our foundation brought here wasn't strong. It was weak. Right. So those of us who are proclaiming to be woke, right, we have to take the tools and the resources that we have to actually unify and bring them together so that we can actually put our stuff together to actually create change.
All right, go ahead.
I got a good question.
Go ahead, Uncle MJ. Speak your piece, brother.
Okay, so Rosewood and Black Wall Street existed because we banded together, and the word that Sage just used was infrastructure. Now, I have a question for the community, because those things existed, and we as people, they have, of course, swept that under the rug. They swept Rosewood under the rug. They give it a little shine. They swept Black Wall Street under the rug. They give it a little shine. I think we as a people should revisit that, because that is really where we were. And if we were able to maintain that, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But I'm gonna ask you a question though. Could we change the currency to our currency? Whereas as a people we are happy, because remember, Black Wall Street had their own currency system within their infrastructure, where they didn't even really trade, they didn't even really barter or trade with outsiders. So like, okay, so now let's take it to technology. So now we have this Bitcoin and all these different currencies and these different things that they're creating. Maybe we can start with a currency iconically, I mean, someone that we can get with that will help us push our own currency within our own community, and that will separate us in the sense of now we're in the mix of, like the brother said, like everybody said, we're trading with one another.
Trading with one another.
Exactly.
Well,
You hit it on the nail too, Jay.
Is that a possibility?
Well, this is the thing. That could happen to some degree because there was something that James Brown did back in the 70s where he had his own currency and you could use it at his restaurants and things like that, right? But the only problem that we have is
us.
We don't own anything.
Exactly.
Because there was a time when we grew our own products, had them our own distribution, had them in our own stores. When we got into integration, we let all that go and we started shopping in the white people's stores. And we gave up everything. So we don't own gas stations. We don't own fueling companies.
Hospitals, hotels.
You got to go to Walmart.
Exactly.
You got to go to Sam Walmart to buy your groceries. So we don't own anything. So we have to first get back into ownership space where we can become self-reliant,
self-sufficient,
and we don't have to depend on shopping in their stores and their grocery stores, getting gas from them, their electricity, all these things. We have to become 100% self-sufficient so that we can do that. And when you know the economic power of black people, you know that you're up against something because they don't want that to happen.
Right.
They made us codependent.
And this is and this is one of the big things that you said, MJ, and that was so true because that's on our list as well. But at first we go in the lines of our fundamental principles and what we're trying to do is education, economics, and then we get to empowerment. You know what I mean? We got to do it in that order, and then culture. Right? Those are the four pillars of the foundation that we actually trying to set up. You know, culture come together. We got to educate, create the economics, and then we could be able to be empowered. Right? In that order.
Right.
So at first we're doing this first part with unifying and trying to bring everybody together. Then we can actually rely on each other for the resources that we have to bring to the table. And then we can create empowerment, which will create holding companies and schools and corporations and things that will generate currencies for us to do exactly what you said.
And we got to support each other because the problem we have is I'm not going to the black gas station or I'm not going to the
and
black
that's because
store.
sometimes
You know what I'm saying? So if we do all that, the support got to come with it.
And that's sometimes because of customer service, and we got statistics with that.
Well, it's not even just customer service. I think we too harping on. I start to cut you off, but we have to get out of labels.
Right.
Like you will go spend your last $100 on some Gucci drawers before you buy a $25 shirt from your homeboy who making shirts. Right. Like we have to get out of the labels just because it's Gucci.
Right.
They don't even like you, and you give them your money.
And they're using the same material.
Well, here's the thing. Even if I get that, but even if, because I can't, I get that, and I'm with you on that. But Gucci do make some good products.
But they don't realize that Gucci's only hot because we made it hot.
But I get it. No, I get that. But what I'm saying to you, even if they do, we still should make it. It should be no excuse why we're still not spending with our own culture because that's what's most important. So with a lot of our people, and then we gotta jump off.
About to say because for time we about to run down. We got 50 seconds left.
Right. For 1 second, that we still have the most important reason why that we have to unify, right? And that we have to come together to do something is because I hear it all day long. People say, "Oh, we got billionaires now. Oprah's a billionaire." Shout out to Oprah. I love Oprah. Beyonce and Jay. Who else just hit it? They just said
Rihanna.
Yeah, shout out to Rihanna.
Rihanna
and everybody
Kanye.
else that actually, but billionaires. But still, even though we have billionaires, right? Our dollar still equals 6.6 in our community. So that means nothing. We're still 227 years behind in wealth. So that means absolutely nothing.
All right, we're going to have to come back, man,
and
this
you
is
do
cool.
realize there's a problem when you can name the black billionaires you have.
Oh,
Exactly.
right.
Wait,
Hey,
pause
we
one
gonna have to
second,
go.
Fanatic. One
We
second.
gonna have to
Hey,
come
Paul,
back.
Paul Fanatic, we're going to jump back on.
That
Give me
is
the
so
posse
true.
name all the
Anytime we can count our billionaires,
Right.
that is. Did you save that?
Yeah.
That wait.
Yeah,
that
save
is-
that whole video.
That
please.
is 100%. Anytime we can count our billionaires,
That's a problem.
that is a problem.
Not only
and
that,
that's the
but
reason
not
I get
only
it all
that.
day. Come on, sis, we gotta give us some credit. We doing good. We are doing good, but still, the most we spend in our community is our hair
But
done.
you gotta- but
From
you-
going
but
to
you
get a
gotta
haircut
realize,
because we
though,
don't
too.
trust nobody else to cut our hair and do our hair, and that's it.
But
Our
you-
money goes everywhere else.
But you talked about the billionaires and how it still only count for 6% in our community. The billionaires aren't spending their money with us.
I know.
The black billionaires
We know.
are giving their money
We
back
know.
to
We
the,
know.
to the white people.
We know.
They're not spending money
That's
with
the
us.
biggest game of it all. It's called the $1 trillion game. That's the reason why Black Wall Street
They
and
won't go
Raleigh
get a
and all
dress
the
from a
rest of
famous
them
white
went.
designer for
Well,
the
no,
Emmys
because a
versus
lot of
from a
them
black,
go. A
from
lot of
black
them get
designer.
clothes donated too. A lot of them get it donated for reputation because they know the rest of them is going to spend.
I
They
understand
get it
that, but
free.
do that for a black designer though.
I get it.
Versus
I
the one,
get it.
versus
But my point is,
Ralph
we
Lauren
have
who
to-
already popping.
But the reason why we can't is because we're still stuck, and I'm
it's
gonna
a
answer
mentality.
that and answer his question. We're still stuck, and that was what I was going to respond to your question when you said,
about to be
you know,
here till tomorrow.
we're selfish. No, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. We're selfish, but it's not really selfish. It's the other S word. It's survival. It's survival.
That's crazy.
And that's what it is. It's survival. Even when you reach the building mentally, you're so
But it's-
still
but-
impoverished
but
that you're
you
still
have to
holding
understand
on
something. It's still-
to what you have.
In order to survive, you have to be selfish to a degree. So it's still a form of selfishness, which you have to understand.
I disagree.
No, I think you
Because
have
I
to
don't
be,
think I'm
to
selfish
agree.
at all, and I survived a
No,
lot.
but I know to survive certain situations, you have to sometimes be selfish. And there may come a time where you have to be selfish to survive. They coincide, not the same thing, but they intertwine. But we have to realize, as black folks, is if I survive and you die, I died. There's no survival without you. You have to understand that. If I survive, if I'm the only black person alive, I survived. Every black person died, I died too.
All right, we back.
We have to as a society realize that if all of us eat, we all eat. If one person is starving, we're all starving.
Okay, so what you missed, what we got at Fanatic was that I answered his question when he said that he think that we're all selfish, and my rebuttal to that was I don't think we're selfish with the S word. I think it's survival. We're stuck in the survival mode. It doesn't matter how much money we have or if we have billionaires, because we come from poverty. It's always at a loss. You know, in the back of your mind is I can lose this at any given second because you know we're outnumbered with the amount of other billionaires and trillionaires that is in other cultures.
Yeah,
So
when
he's-
you're constantly oppressing our people, it changes the whole mentality of
Most
how
definitely.
you operate when you start getting wealth, and you
Most
can't
definitely.
really. We haven't figured that out how to make that work because you've been behind the 8 ball for so long that when you get it, because I can't tell these young NBA athletes like, yo, forego that $1 million contract and let's all start our own thing or let's do that or whatever, when they've been in impoverished situations and been oppressed for generations. It's hard to really have that conversation with them.
I agree.
And you know, social media and the internet have so much influence on them with pushing this materialism agenda and idolizing things like that, and not. So when you're constantly being fed that, your whole mentality is totally different, and they play a part in that because they own all the media outlets, so they control what goes on there, and they promote and push and put them in the algorithm, so that message is constantly ringing true that it affects everything. It affects the music industry. The music industry no longer is about creating art and doing something that is
It's
authentic.
about pushing the
It's
agenda.
about likes, views, get those, brand yourself and get paid. And that's not what music was ever really created for. Like, it was about expressing yourself.
Always for us, from the roots here, from our old Negro spirituals, as they say, coming from the South. Music had a meaning. It had an emotional connection, exactly, from the beginning. Even during the era that we came up in, when the crack hit our era, we was actually expressing still what we experienced.
Right.
All day long. But we
now
can't say we
we're
were
put in a
warned.
position now where it's about, and we're being put in a position now that you know, you can't make a record like what's going on right now.
Oh
because
man,
it's like
you know what?
Market.
You know what? You ain't even got to. It's so relevant still today. It's so still relevant today.
Right.
It says
So
if that song was written last year.
Music from the 70s because those messages are still relevant today. And when you got a sea of artists that are in a single-driven market where they're just trying to make hit record after hit record after hit record so that they can make money, and that's all the label is signing, then you miss out on all of those other moments of expressing yourself that can help uplift our people, as Marvin Gaye did. Because What's Going On was one song on the album. It was other songs on the album that had other examples of that message that made that album so great. So it's not just about, you know, the hit record. It's about a complete statement
I know that's right. Shout out
that
to Sam
changes the mentality and the mindset of people that listen to it.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. It makes you almost wonder how far did we truly come if a record from the 70s still is prevalent.
It's
45, but 50 years later.
Listen, let me tell you
about
it
us.
says a lot about how far we truly come.
And then not only that,
nowhere.
and exactly, and then I was just reading this post from Marcus Garvey that was so simple. Listen, Marcus Garvey was before they blew up Black Wall Street in 1921. Marcus Garvey was in the early 1900s, late 1800s, 1900s. That's how far
most don't realize. They think Marcus Garvey was around the time Malcolm X. They don't realize they're not 100 years apart.
And Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was in the same generation, and they wasn't. He was way prior,
way before
them, and he still said the answer to our success is to be backed by black, and everything else will handle each other.
The greatest pitfall for black folks was ending segregation.
No,
because I'm gonna talk. We gave up everything, and they gained everything.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the reason.
Listen,
I get it, but that wasn't the greatest. That wasn't the greatest.
He didn't realize it until he died. That's when he realized it.
That was a part of it though, because let me tell you, I feel like how smart God is, or whatever you want to call him, whatever we call it, universal law, whatever. Let me tell you how I think how smart it is, because though today, like our ancestors fought for the freedom here in America, the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X era fought for equality, it's this generation responsibility to fight for economics, right? For our economic freedom. Now, that's our responsibility because they fought through everything else. But the beautiful part I think that we were missing through that integration mix is that everything that we did, that we climbed and fought our way out of, it took them slaves 10 years after slavery to put together $58 million to build Black Wall Street on movie theaters, education systems, everything. Their first terror attack on America, they bombed it, right? Then after that, we had the Great Depression a few years later. How tired and exhausted do a people have to be after rebuilding themselves over and over and over again, right? That every time they built something, and we were segregated, they were thriving, and then they got jealous and burnt it to the ground. So to me, integration is beautiful at this part, because when we rebuild it this time, they can't bomb us without bombing themselves. They have to strap the jacket on and take everybody out at this point because we're integrated.
Do you think they
know
won't?
what I mean? And it wasn't. No. Listen, they won't have a choice because it really wasn't the segregation that killed us. It really was marketing. We wasn't ready for marketing. We had our own stores. We had Woolworths we were shopping at. When they start marketing Walmart and marketing came in.
But how can you say marketing was our downfall?
Marketing was our downfall.
If we was marketing ourselves when we had Black Wall Street.
Listen,
if we didn't market ourselves through media, as far as TV,
I'm gonna tell you why.
we were marketing through newspaper, through word of mouth. We were marketing ourselves.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Fanatic, if you can remember this, when we actually started the integration, even when they started marketing heavy, the bigger store chains, the shop at, we had our own, even Raleigh, North Carolina, we had our own stores. In order for us to be on TV, we had to do blackface. In order to sell a can of any product, we had to do blackface. They wanted us to look like monkeys, right or wrong.
Yes.
For advertisement, they use marketing to their leverage. Everybody on TV was super white with red lipstick and uplift everything. No, they was, but they would put it on our can, on our products, and everything else.
Right.
They didn't allow so much of the attractive people that look like us actually get on the forefront. They were too intimidated. So they marketed all of their stores. So even when you shopped at the local community, what they was pushing was what we talking about today. As soon as we start doing something to unite ourselves, they go ahead and create a platform to gain our money and to get us pushed over there towards them.
Capitalize
Exactly,
by
making it cheaper.
But I still feel like I understand all that, and that's all it makes sense. But I still feel like this intersegregation is still the biggest pitfall. I still believe because I said we lost everything. They made us listen by intersegregation. We take everything. They make us codependent on them.
Well, listen,
now we
which
can't
is true.
shit
but
without their permission.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
That's a problem.
But let me tell you why that was destined to happen. Because we could have did it all over again and rebuilt Black Wall Street again.
Said you was tired.
Here, listen, right?
Tired.
But what I'm saying is, if we
lost that sound.
we do. If we actually have to start over and rebuild every time they have the power to drop a bomb on us, listen, we will be extinct by now because we would have to start over to put our money back together and do it again. Let me tell you what the difference is now. We have black people, right, from our culture who are military trained, just like them. Now we can enter into the armies. We can enter into the police force. We can enter into every market that there is. It is.
Cops just as bad as other cops.
They are. But the
they
key
brainwashed
is,
now.
But my point is exactly, we have to start at ground zero, at the root, to actually get rid of the conditioning. That's my point. Yeah. It has to start with trust. We don't have no trust because we've been in survival mode. We know if the next, as you call it, Negro, is trying to make it to the top and we all fighting to get to the top, they can't trust you because you're fighting to get to the same place. Y'all not strategizing and coming together with the same plane to get to, even though we can all say, damn, we got one agenda. This is what we set out to get at Hollywood, but we're going to have 12 different strategies on how to get there. We're going down 7 different avenues and 7 different roads. See you when we get there. There's no competition. Right. We have the same agenda.
Okay, listen, I agree, but
conversation that we all have together and a real plan, because when all this stuff, when all the boycott happened, everything happened, we showed them that we could come together, but we never sat down and had an ask or a real plan. We all jumped behind this Black Lives Matter movement, who really turned out to be a facade, because I don't even know where Black Lives Matter is right now. I don't know what they're not very vocal at all anymore. Everybody ran behind a slogan instead of sitting down having a real conversation and a real ask of, okay, now that we have your attention and you see what kind of effect we can have on these cities, this is what we need to have happen, and we never did that. And so they kind of, we kind of missed the moment. So now we have to regroup and figure it out now. Like, how can we have that same type of impact where we can get their attention without looting and tearing up the city, and have a real plan and a real ask? What is it that we need? I was really hurt in that moment, because it was like, that was our chance to really sit down and be taken serious and have a real conversation. And you are with the power to be of, like, this is what we need.
And that's the fun.
Shout out my boy, Keep It $1. He said Kev got a point.
So now everything has went back to relax more, but it ain't over. It ain't over, Fanatic, because we got a plan. We got a great plan. We putting it in action, and you are 100% right. We got back comfortable, but it's going to happen again. So the things in the conversation that we're having today, and the things that we are setting up today, is prevention measures. So when it happened again, because we know it's going to happen again, right? When it happened again, we already have the plan and the strategy to take place, so we know what we need to do to create 2 things: kill 2 birds with 1 stone, create the capital and provide solutions.
Right.
That's
but
what
see, but notice this though, right? This conversation that we're having right here is a conversation that needs to be on national television, where people, like, we need to be having this type of a dialogue on a regular basis on TV. Right. It needs to be on Revolt TV. It needs to be on BET, where we're constantly having this conversation, because this conversation is educational for so many people, and it wakes people up and says, okay, you know what? We have been asleep at the wheel. So we gotta have this conversation on a national scale on a regular basis if we want to initiate change. So I challenge Oprah. I challenge P. Diddy. I challenge BET with having these conversations in an open forum on a regular basis, so that we can move forward and have a real plan of action.
Right. It's just about taking some doing, and then somebody stepping up and being that leader.
Right. And we working on it. We're working on it, and we're about to launch.
Because the problem is, when one person step up, people always want to find a reason to not follow that person. You know, only thing they like to do is go and protest, and you protesting with you don't got no, what are you demanding? If you out there yelling and doing all that stuff, but you have no demands, you have nothing to ask for.
I agree.
You have, there's no path. Like, what do you want? Once you got the air, what are you going to do with it?
And Richmond,
You know what
you
I'm
just
saying?
made a good point. And that point is every time we do get a leader, they want to point out all the bad. I feel like this. I don't care what we're running for, and I don't care what the issue is. As soon as someone runs for president or for mayor or whatever we had to do, oh, he cheated on his wife, oh, he did this. I don't care
All that
what it is.
stuff.
Does that mean I
Being
cannot
human.
fight for my people because I made a mistake or had an error? So we got to start overlooking some petty stuff. As
Hold
long
on,
as
real
it
quick,
ain't rape or pedophilia, we got to start overlooking
real
some
quick,
stuff.
I want to shout out Sam St. Alban. I hope I said your name right. She said we got to think about global black dysphoria. I'm
Right.
Canadian. It's about all of us.
It is.
And I agree 1,000%. Shout you out,
listen,
love.
I 100% agree.
I agree 1,000%.
I agree. I agree.
Fire.
I
Yeah,
agree.
That's factual.
And
Because it is
just-
international.
We definitely got to be organized, and we need to also think about, like you said, with the currency thing, the power's in us. We could take a piece of paper and put a stamp on it and say, this is our currency, but we need all of us to agree with it, all of us to be consistent and make sure that we all, stick together. But the problem with us is we don't do that.
We
And
are
this
America.
is the reason why we actually having these conversations, because we actually have a plan. And the plan I told 100 believe will work as long as we don't lose sight of what the agenda is and we work together and actually build trust from the foundation. We have to start with a strong foundation. Foundation is key. Foundation is key. People can't come in with hidden agendas. It has to go like what Kevin said a while ago. If one eat, we all eat. You know what I mean? If one's starving, we all starving. That's how, it was a good example that I watched, and it was, I don't even want to give my critique on it, but I just heard something that I was looking at, and I was in tears. I'm highly empathic and emotional. From the DeBarge family. I love the DeBarge family. They can sing, right? And I was looking at their life story, and I was just all overly emotional. Another thing with, things that was introduced by their white father, he abused them physically and emotionally. But their mother said something that was so powerful, and I feel like this is how we used to be. She said, when you open your hand, you got loose fingers. But if y'all glued together as a family like this, as a fist, no one can tear y'all apart. Right? And this is how solid we gotta be. And it's funny because we represent this fist in everything we do as strength. But I thought about that when she said it. Until we like this and not like this, and have loose fingers, and that means to me seeing each other as individuals. Because if they come over here and make you an offer, will that buy you out? That's why I respect the boy that did what he did for Nick Cannon. What's his name? I don't even know him like that. When they offered him his spot,
The comedian
he
boy.
said, "Ain't enough
DC
money
Young
you
Fly.
can give me
Young Fly. Shout
to
out
betray
DC
that
Young
man."
Fly. He gained so much respect from me because of that.
We need
Shout
more
out
of that.
DC.
Yeah.
We need the thing. Lost
there
out.
you
It
go
was
off.
spinning the internet. Yeah, but we need more of that type of energy in the world. We need that type of loyalty in the world.
I mean, come back to that same stick analogy. Alone, you could easily break a stick, but a bunch of sticks, you can't break them. It's hard.
Exactly. And we're starting now, just putting the energy out there so that we can start navigating some of the change. And as was that Sam who said that about the global dysphoria?
That was Sam.
I 100% agree, because it is going to take all of us, and we really have to get out of the mindset that we at war on the boat and then we feuding. That makes absolutely no sense over petty issues. We got to really overlook, the petty issues and actually unite under one banner to know what our goal is. And right now, our goal has to be economically free. It has to be our agenda to create our own schools, to teach our own children, to push our culture forward. And our culture is everything about our culture. It's not just music. It's everything. It's education. It's goddamn global. It's everything. Our own food. It's everything. It's our own way of life, because we live a little bit differently.
We have to understand how impactful we are.
Right.
We are American culture. We are American. Pretty much everything that is popping, everything that is cool, everything that even isn't cool is still us. We idolized our athletes and our entertainment, which is awesome. They deserve praise, but so does our black doctors. So does our black lawyers. So, and people don't realize how impactful we are. Like they don't realize, like, the first doctor to do open heart surgery was the black man. They don't realize these things.
Well, a lot of things, because remember, like, hitting figures, we couldn't take the credit. Like, we couldn't get the credit for the things that we created in America during slavery.
Having our own schools where we're educating our own people on how amazing we are and the things that we've accomplished, and starting that black pride at a very early age, and constantly filling our own people with so much.
Well, I'm sure he may fill it up with so much. Yeah.
Cool.
And I want everybody to understand that just because we're pushing, the black agenda, because they get confused too. I don't like the extra woke. And the extra woke to me is, anything outside of being black is excluded. That's not the agenda that we push at all. That's just like I said, we want our own everything, our own schools.
Shout out our Latinos.
Doctors, our own. Shout out to Latinos.
My auntie Puerto Rican, goddammit. Shout out my Latinos.
We want our own everything. But having our own doesn't mean that we exclude the Asian race or the white race from working in our establishment, anything like that. It just means that we're doing things the right way. You're qualified. We know when we show up to get the job, we're basing that off of qualification and not off of your racial background.
Right, exactly.
We're not racial profiling you. We know that in this establishment, if an Asian working there or a white person working there, they meet the criteria opposed to they got in. Because then black people be under the assumption, I'm just getting in because I'm black. Now, we're going to have extra compassion in those situations that if you lack the qualifications, that we be able to have the funds to train them to go through getting the proper qualifications or see what skills they have so that we can appoint them in the right situation because we know where we come from in America. We know the poverty that we suffer from in America. But we don't want to be too pro-black where we're saying, every other race is excluded.
Nah,
that's not what we're saying. We're saying that at our table there can be no one outside of our race sitting at that table because we need our black power. We need our black power. We need it. We need
y'all
to
could
sit
be
at
in the
that
restaurant,
table
but y'all can't be in the
because
kitchen.
at the technology of this painting that I'm having drawn, there is an Asian at the table. There is an Arab at the table. There is a daggone Jew at the table. And all they tables, and we're not on the table. We're on the table being eating.
We're on the menu.
We're on the menu. Our seat is empty and we're on the table.
We've always had an open door for them to come in and experience our culture and enjoy our culture. They're the only ones that didn't allow us to go over there and experience their culture. They segregated themselves from us and didn't want us to be a part of that. So, we're not a people that are racist people that do not want them to experience what is wonderful about our culture that we see as wonderful about our culture.
We're a little
so
too,
it's not
open.
it's not exclusion.
Right.
And you know what another
crack the doors.
they actually have confused, and I'm just reading one of the comments that say American culture is not existent without African Americans. And this is so true. And what they fail to realize is you have all these other cultures that come to America for the American dream. And they don't even understand what the American dream is. They don't even know what's being sold to them. They don't even know that the children, the descendants of the slaves that were born here, the indigenous ones and the ones that came over from Africa, is the American dream. They come over to capitalize off of our ignorance. This is the only reason why we have the stores that we have in the communities that we have, the Asian stores, Puerto Rican stores, the Arab stores. They come to capitalize off of the ignorance. It's not a near another thriving community but our own. We are the American dream that they sell to them.
And go try to set up shop in the Asian community and see what happens. Go try to set up shop in the Indian community and see what happens. It's not happening. You're not. But they come and they set up shop in our community all day long.
And that's why I said that we got to be too open.
Show you what type of people we are.
We too open.
With not including
inclusive.
Them to
We too inclusive. Like
let me tell you what kind of people we are.
What? Go ahead.
The type of people we are. It's not that we letting them do anything. The problem is we don't own the buildings in our community.
No, but that's not true.
So we don't we can't stop whoever's owning them from renting it to them.
No, yes, you
that's
can.
why ownership is everything.
By not shopping there, you can.
I mean,
you can petition it out of the neighborhood before they
can,
open up anything in the community. They have to ask permission to open it up.
But now that you can do by not shopping there.
If I'm a white person and I own all your buildings,
right?
I own all of you're my tenants.
Right.
You can start petitioning all you want. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, you stopping my money? I'm gonna knock all this shit down and I'm gonna let them make it into a strip mall. I have that type of control.
Well, in some communities,
you can't go over to that side of town.
You can't go into certain towns and do that because they have a
because
community.
they own those buildings.
No, even outside of owning the buildings. Even outside of owning the buildings.
They're not going to let a black person go over to a white side of town and buy up a bunch of real estate on the white side of town.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
My point is, what I mean by that is that they're tied into the community.
So we should be doing the same thing, though.
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly. I feel like instead of going and moving into their buildings and paying them rent, go somewhere and build our own where we are in control.
Exactly.
We control the narrative at this point.
Go somewhere. A lot of us leave the hood instead of going back and putting into it, and I get it because, like I said, we talked about that survival mode. It's a survival mode, though. But and I get it. I truly do get it. So we just gotta move in action. That's all. Because you 100% right. We have to own the building.
When that white real estate guy comes over to the black side of town and decides that he wants to buy a bunch of property over there, most of the time we're going to end up selling to them. We're not in the space of like, no, we want to keep our neighborhood the way it is. We only want to sell to black.
They've been trying to sell Africa and Haiti too.
Right, exactly.
They already stole Jamaica.
Sam just said they tried to steal Africa, but and Haiti too.
They already stole Jamaica.
The problem is we sell out too much.
And this is the reason
they offer you a big number for your house and you ready to go.
And you ready to go.
There's no sense of
when you've been oppressed and impoverished, that you
might just give up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Man.
All that mentality has to change in order to move forward.
And I think
to
this
be
is
honest,
the right time to do it.
All of the people that's in this generation, the couple generations before, none of us really experienced slavery firsthand. We experienced a form of. Our parents instilled slavery into us, and we got a form of it. But I mean, the best thing to do is what we're doing is start to teach people how to think differently.
How to think differently.
You know what I'm saying? To change that mentality, so you don't sit there and think that you got to go live over here. You gotta go. You can build your own stuff.
And to do what someone I heard in the comments actually said was not allow any room for conquer and divide. You know what I mean? And go back to what we was talking about with that analogy of that fist. I think you jumped off at that time, Fanatic, when I was talking about the Barge mother told them, to be like a fist. And, how she explained how loose fingers can easily be divided. But when you joint together like a fist, you know what I mean? No one can break you. And that's what I was trying to explain, that we have to mimic, because this is our symbol for Black Power as well. We have to unite in this form and not care and not even let somebody, the first time somebody comes tell you something about somebody else, you quick to believe it. You know what I mean? We have agenda and we set out on a mission. Somebody shouldn't be able to come and put a bug in your ear to create some division amongst your group of people that's going in a direction, and you quickly believe it. You know what I mean? We got to learn to stand on solid ground.
Shout out my guy King Brooks 718. He said he feel like black people are too open and acceptable to other people, and I agree. I think Muhammad Ali said it best when he was on that talk show. If I got 1,000 snakes coming towards me and one snake is good, I'm supposed to hope that one snake stop all them snakes? No, I'm gonna close the damn door on all them goddamn snakes. And I'm agreeing with freaking Muhammad Ali. Shout out to the GOAT. That's my guy. I'm agreeing with Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna shut the door on all y'all damn snakes. And once them 999 leaving that one good one there, I'll let you come in real quick. I'll crack the door open for you. We gotta crack the door. We can't keep letting everybody come in, cause look where they coming in, taking from us and leaving. They're coming in, gaining, and then leaving inappropriate and gaining off of our swag, off of our knowledge, off of our essence. We have to close this door a little bit and crack it. Start being. Listen, we are choosy as hell with ourselves, but nobody else. We are choosy as hell with each other, but not other people. Like, start being choosy. Start being suspect.
It's in our blood to be
like we something help, bro. You scamming, bro. You scamming. You trying to get me? You need to be with other people as well.
We've been in survival mode for too long. When something appears too good to be true, we really.
But why are we surviving against each other when we ain't had the power to hurt each other?
That goes with understanding the history. So this is why I'm saying, before I give it to you to close it out, we all, of course, me personally as well, want to thank you, Fanatic, for sharing your wisdom, sharing the insight on the music industry. We definitely gonna have you back.
Most definitely.
And get the pros and cons of the music business for all those on another project that we gonna get into concerning music.
No, I appreciate you all for even having this platform to have this conversation and this open dialogue, because even if doesn't matter what number of people we can touch, as long as we're putting the information out there and people can take it and they can spread it and they can continue to build on this conversation. Because the only way we're going to fix this is to reprogram this slave mentality that we have, and we have to really understand. We have to go beneath the surface and understand systemic racism and oppression and all the things that have happened to us, and really unpack that, and then move forward in a different way. And once we're able to do that, then we can achieve all the things that we want in this country and understand the power of ownership and having your own.
That's facts, man.
That is so much facts.
Agreed, most
and
definitely.
just doing the little things that, give him his flowers. Doing the little things that will actually just bring about change. I don't know if Chase Flow brought you up to speed or what we're trying to, we are organizing a campaign that we're actually trying to put together. More than one, but one right now. And we're trying to actually start with 4 cities, but the first one, of course, is the city of brotherly love, Old Philadelphia.
You divulged it to me when we had a sit down one time. You divulged it to me.
Yeah.
I wish you would have had the microphone when we were going through all of this turmoil with the George Floyd situation, and the ask was on the table, because what your plan of action is exactly what we needed at that moment. So it's never too late, but but that is which way, that is a positive step in how we need to move forward with change if we really want to see things change in America.
Right, and that's what I was saying. We're going to set up the provision to actually do that, because I really think we had the microphone to do that during that time in 2020. But what happened is, once again, in pertaining to us and some of the people that, and me, I try to stay as us as I can. I subconsciously already spend with the other cultures, so I try to actually use my own people for it, whether it's production or anything, and give my people those jobs to bring together the things that we have to do. So with that being said, of course, when 2020 hit, our people went back into survival mode. So to get things done that we actually needed to get done, it was a delay and a halt, because our people went into survival mode.
Niggas were still in tissue.
So you talking about niggas were still in tissue. They went back into survival mode. So me actually understanding that, just having a clear outlook on the direction that we need to go ain't going to hold them against them, because I truly believe everything happens in God's timing. You know what I mean? So now it's just time to set up prevention measures for when it takes place again. We have a plan of action and know exactly what we need to do. So we're just in ground zero building right now. I wholeheartedly believe that it will take off and take place, because it's for the betterment of us as a whole. But it ain't stopped. It just slowed down, because we slowly but surely getting, I think PPP has gotten people out of survival. Grants and stuff have got some people out of survival mode. So they back on board. So they back on board with something.
But some of us got it.
Yes, right. Right. So I just think that as long as we continue to, have these conversations and create the platforms that will actually help just change the outlook on our people, and we got to start somewhere with building trust. Right now, like I said, we're going to start in the city of brotherly love, because right now they're number 1 with murders, and we're going to start a campaign and get all of our other podcast owners out there and some celebs to actually get in on a Thug Need Hug campaign. And that's just actually saying, for instance, just giving the youth a good word, you know what I mean, from some of the top-notch influencers that maybe they just want to ask the question or need to be pointed in the right direction. I mean, shout out to Willow from $1 Million Worth of Game. I seen the video from him this morning. Wallow, sorry, child, I don't watch it often. Of him running, and he just asked the kid, where your father at? And he told him, my dad in jail. So he really just encouraged his whole live audience to give him something positive.
Shout out Wallow and Gilly.
To look forward to. And I thought that was dope, and that's the reason why we have him on the list to partner with him on this campaign, because the youth need to hear from us. The youth need to hear from us, because I feel like, based off of what Kevin said a couple weeks ago that not only just our youth is hurt, our black men is hurt because they face a lot out of here in regards to pressure and standards that they have to uphold as a black man, right? And to watch them be humiliated in certain situations and pertaining to racial profiling and police brutality, it's heartbreaking. So with that being said, they need encouragement. You know what I mean? The black men overall in general, but especially our youth. The value of life right now is zero.
It's been compromised. It's been altered. Women are now having more of a voice as well. So we need to really redefine our role and figure out where do we fit and how can we be just as effective, not being in the same position that we were in before. You know, so we got to figure that out as well.
And I'm agreeing with you because that's where we are at. But first, we got to get this youth in order because they're not having any respect for value of life at all. I mean, the murder rate is ridiculous, and they all youth. Like these 14 and 15-year-olds are being tried as adults. So we're losing our youth. You know what I mean? 2 years ago, we were 1.5 missing of our men. We're losing our youth now. So they've been to more funerals up north. I mean, and it wasn't even old people I heard. Like, they was going to like 100 funerals in a matter of a 30-day period, and most of them was our youth. Most of them was our youth. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for your contribution to the culture to help us push this culture forward.
Shout out to Billy.
Shout out to Billy. Right,
yeah,
so
let's give him a hand clap.
we going to have Billy Lennox come back. We got to have Billy Lennox come back because I really want to know. I want to know the transformation from Fanatic to Billy Lennox.
Yeah.
That is definitely a whole episode in itself.
That's why you got to come back.
We definitely got to have you back.
But
man.
I appreciate you all, though. I really do. I love this platform and what it represents. I didn't know what to expect when I came on, but I should have known if you're involved that we're going to be dropping. Like, I love having these conversations with you. We've had them many times, and I feel I need, as a black man, I need to have this conversation constantly on a regular basis so that I stay sharp, I stay aware, and I stay focused on what we need to do as black people moving forward. So I appreciate you and the wisdom that you have that you share and that you created this platform to share that information. I appreciate all of you.
We appreciate that.
No doubt, man.
We appreciate that. And I'll keep you in mind for the roster then. To have these conversations with other black men.
Let's get this. Let's blow this thing up. Everybody that's on here that witnessed this conversation today, share it, talk about it.
Most definitely.
Share it with your audience, and everybody talk about it so that the next one that happens, more people will come on, more people will join and be a part of this conversation because that's the only way we're going to figure this thing out. Is to share this insight that is being exposed on this platform.
I agree. I agree.
That's what's up, man.
Thank you, Fanatic.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Have a good night, man.
All right, man. Be cool.
Yeah, I'll close
Thank everybody else for tuning in as well.
I'll close this out.
We're going to close us out.
You know, just to reiterate real quick, you know, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You know, thank Fanatic once again. Thank my man Rich Mo, Black Ink Radio. For helping us provide this, you know, platform so we can do this. Quick close out. I just want to say a few little snippets.
Black men is envied by all. I'm sorry, Kevin. I agree, Sam.
No, we are. But
I agree.
Cause I'm cool like that. Cool like that.
Cause Drake said, I'm too sexy. They too sexy for.
But all to me, I just want to reiterate what I said to you a little earlier, Sage, off the air. We got to realize as black men and black women that whether we like it or not, straight, gay, whatever, man, woman, we are connected. I am black woman, I am black man in the sense of I'm a part of you. Every black man came from a black woman, every black woman came from a black man. So if you are a black woman, you are a part of a black man and vice versa. We are connected whether we realize it or not. If one is starving, we're all starving. We are not truly successful until we're all successful. So if you're the only one eating at your table, that is a problem. And my friend, you might be the problem if you are the only one eating at your table. We have to realize that we all have to succeed in order for us to truly succeed as a people. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Like Fanatic said, share the word. As my aunt Tookie used to always tell me. Shout out to her. The reminder benefits. The reminder benefits the believer. So we have to constantly keep talking about this, reminding ourselves and sharpening our brain. Ultimately, the greatest tool, the greatest weapon we have is our mind. Train the mind and the body will follow. Let's just get out of this crap. Let's just get out of this.
That boy spitting.
I'm just saying, man, we gotta change our mentality. Crabs in the barrel. We love to use that analogy. If one crab is climbing up, we'll pull the other crab down. How about if one crab is climbing up, one crab grab him, the other crab grab him, the other crab grab him, and we all climb the hell out this goddamn bucket.
Exactly.
Let's get out there doing together, man, because we can do it together. It's more than enough food for all of us to eat. If you try to eat it yourself, you're going to get fat and you ain't going to finish it all. Nobody wants to be fat.
And we got to solidify a plan. It's just in action, and we just got to be careful how we put it in action, because we know that true liberation always, it desires sacrifice and commitment. But we also know as soon as somebody put out something that will actually free us, they end up murked. We know they kill our leaders. So at this particular time, we have to make sure that we're being impactful and creating a solution that will actually free us. We have to unite accordingly. We have to put the information out there accordingly and make sure everybody have the information. So then one person die, the plan still goes on. That we all gonna die. What happened is when their crew died, everything went out the window. We're not setting it up this way this time.
We have to.
Everybody got to get the information. Everybody gonna have the plan so that we can keep this thing going.
My man Keep It a Dollar said, "One band, one sound" by Dr. Lee. I want to leave y'all with one of my favorite quotes. And my man Keep It a Dollar just reminded me of it by quoting Dr. Lee from my man Bruce Lee, the wise Asian brother.
I love Bruce Lee.
That's my God, man. I love him to death. To all people out there, man, be like water. Don't be like soda. When you shake up soda, it explodes. When you shake up water, that shit's still smooth and calm.
He did not say be like soda.
He said don't be. Be like water. Don't let nothing rattle you, shake you up. Always remain calm in your essence, because you know who you are. When you know who you are, you will never let somebody tell you something different.
Never lost. That's not why he said be like water?
That's where I took it from.
Oh, okay. That was Kevin's analogy. It's not why he said be like water.
Why do you think he said that?
Because water can be shooken up. Because I'm a tsunami.
I'm talking about a bottle of water.
I'm a tsunami. Water turns to a
on that
tsunami
note,
when you shake it up.
On that note, we getting the hell out of here. We getting out of here.
But listen, please, again, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We definitely, this is Let's Talk About It Overtime. And, if y'all have anything that y'all want to share with us throughout the week, please hit us on the DMs, follow the page. Let's Talk About It, Black Ink. Shout out to my guy Rich Mo on the boards right here, Black Ink Radio.
And y'all can hit us up individually too. We got Sage.
She's a part of the cast
Sage World 1.
We got Sage World 1. We got International.
Chase Flow International.
I'm Kevin versus Floyd. My only adversary.
Yeah, so please follow us and stay connected. Stay tuned next week.
Solutions together. God bless. Everybody have a wonderful evening. We out.
You are now tuned in to Black Ink Radio. Turn up the hottest station in